Two McKinney programs that are completely different. Two sophomore quarterbacks that are completely different. It's old school versus new school. McKinney High with their 503 UIL wins, and it's McKinney Boyd with their 2 UIL wins, and they'll match off tonight. Good evening, everyone. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and John Leidy and Jay Lindley and Rob Johnson. And what a beautiful night for football it is in North Texas, Brandon.
This is the part of the year where we're going to start seeing that little bit of a weather change. The sun's going to go down a lot earlier. You know, it's right now.
Let's hope.
Top of the horizon. Yeah, you know, and this is where you start to get that sort of football feel to it. You know, September's non-district play. It's also really not football weather play. It's kind of an extended practice against different folks. These are games that matter.
Well, and you talked about the horizon. Yet this is one of those stadiums that is on the opposite side that most are on in high school football along this corridor here in North Texas. We are looking into the western sky, which is right into the sun, and which is kind of ironic because the McKinney Boyd Broncos are used to being on this side of the field. They're on the other side of the field tonight. They'll be the visitors at Ron Poe Stadium. Some of them have never even been in the dressing room over there, never even been on the other sideline at this stadium.
Yeah, this is Boyd's first year as a visitor here at Ron Poe. They were the home team both last year against the Lions and the Bulldogs. Now they get a feel. Interesting note, John Leidy actually brought this to my attention. The McKinney schools who play in this stadium as the road team are undefeated.
Hey, there you go.
Who knows what that means? You know, it's only been a few years, but it's been enough to just kind of establish a pattern. Who knows? I couldn't tell you what that means because, you know, North plays very well when they're at this stadium regardless of what side they're on. So take that for what it's worth.
Well, I think the story of tonight's football game, at least going in, are the two quarterbacks. They're both sophomores. They're completely different, like we said. Zach Lee, the quarterback for McKinney, loves to air it out. He has his favorite target in Matt Libka. And Zach Lee. Did I say Matt Lee?
No, you said Zach.
I mean, okay. I'm getting my names messed up already as we go here. Zach Lee loves to throw it to Matt Libka. Both are sophomores. Both have played pitch and catch basically all their lives, or at least the past few years here in McKinney anyway. And then you have on the other side, you have Darren Alves. Now, not really the guy who's going to throw it down the field and beat you with his left arm, which passes the ball. He's going to beat you with his legs because that's what he likes to do. He's very shifty. He's only about 5'8". I said about $160, and Brandon said maybe. So, Jay Lindley, tell us what you expect to see out of these two sophomore quarterbacks.
I thought it was interesting. You said old school versus new school, but different, and you're right. The old school, of course, being McKinney High, but tonight they come out with a new style offense, that spread formation that Coach Bobby Ray has brought to the lines. Lee, your number 8 passer in the area. On the other side of the football, you got McKinney Boyd. They come in with Darren Alves, the number 1 rusher in the area. They're going to be doing damage on the ground, so it will be. I think this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be a high-scoring affair either way you go.
Well, and you talked about he's going to beat you with his legs, maybe not necessarily his arm. You know, he's got a good receiver he's throwing to there who does make him look good. And we saw last week in Springtown, he can get it to him. It's not a pretty motion. It's not a pretty pass. But you know what? I'm a results kind of guy. I don't care what it takes. If it works, it works.
Hey, Vince Young, he doesn't throw a pretty ball either, but it gets there.
Well, and it should be pointed out, you know, talking about Mr. Jeff Fuller. Fuller last week, really his first breakout game of the season, 5 receptions, 105 yards, and a touchdown. That was his best game so far. He could just now be getting into a groove, and if he gets into it tonight, it could be a long night for the Lions.
You mentioned Jeff Fuller last week at Springtown, bringing in some of those high receptions as he kind of Alvin Harpered it, as we talked about. He's 6'5". What's funny about Jeff Fuller, never played football before his freshman year, which I think is unbelievable.
And now he's a top 100 recruit.
and headed to OU.
Right.
How about that? Could you, me and Jay were talking on the ride up here about what if, and we've mentioned this before, but what if these schools did not split? What if it were like Allen
or Duncanville,
and you could have Fuller and Douglas and maybe Lipka and Alves in the slot, with Lee at quarterback.
Put Alves in the backfield. Heck.
Wow. What an offensive fireworks show you'd
like
have.
I said, you'd have to average 500 yards a game so everybody get their touches. I mean,
and can you imagine?
I think they could do it.
The linebacking core on the other end. I mean, McKinney has got some of the best. All three schools have some of the best linebackers in the district. You got Colton Floyd over there in McKinney North, and you're going to see some great ones here tonight.
I'll tell you what, I'd take Jamel Minor and Ryan Hughes any day. For those two schools. I tell you what, it's going to be a great matchup tonight. We look forward to seeing the top area leading rusher, quarterback Darren Alves of McKinney Boyd, and the 8th area leading passer in Zach Lee for McKinney. It's going to be a nice one tonight, a beautiful night. Go outside. Take your radio outside and listen to us. Be back in a moment. We'll have the Senior Spotlight and the Coaches Show on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Poe Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Jay Lindley and the gang. The McKinney Lions have made their way into the end zone doing their stretching exercises. They will be in their home navy blue uniforms. They look exactly like Michigan except for the helmet. McKinney has the gold helmet with the blue block M that they've been so accustomed to in these parts for many, many years. Gone back to the gold helmet as of last year. And if you don't know what Michigan looks like, then I guess I better tell you. They have the gold pants and the gold numerals and, of course, the navy blue jerseys. Now, McKinney Boyd, they look almost exactly like Ole Miss. They have white pants, white jerseys, and they have the blue numerals outlined in red. Their school colors are blue and scarlet, the official color. They have the dark blue navy helmets, very similar to what the color of dark blue that McKinney used to wear a few years ago. Not the same helmets, though, I will tell you. They did buy new helmets over there. But they have the red block M with the Bronco, I guess the Bronco head in the middle of the M. And the stripes across the sleeve of their shoulder pad. Pretty sharp-looking outfit.
Yeah, that's one thing that all the McKinney schools really excel at. You know, if you want to go down that road, talk about fashion of the uniforms. I mean, the three McKinney schools rank right up there in what looks sharp.
You know, we can't all be that dominant black and silver like my old Hal Bulldogs, but you know they look pretty sharp. We're getting ready for the McKinney Lions and the McKinney Boyd Broncos to kick off tonight, and kicking off District 9 4A. And this game last year was pretty much a blowout. McKinney Boyd in their first year, first ever district game for McKinney Boyd, and they got hammered down pretty hard. McKinney won their 500th UIL win in this game last year and had the big presentation across the field. I'm wondering if McKinney Boyd wins tonight, do they hold up a big 3
no.
on their side?
No, 3's not a milestone like 500. I'm not sure that you know that. But
I would tell you that those kids would think 3 is a big milestone if they win it here tonight.
Well, it's not necessarily the milestone, but it would also, in a way, be a milestone. First district victory. The Broncos have yet to do that in the squad. And I'm going to tell you, this is not going to be a blowout like last year. I mean, you should expect a totally different game.
Here come the McKinney Lions. Going through their run through, and you can tell we are on the home side. McKinney Lions are the home team. McKinney Boyd Broncos, a nice crowd from just west of here, as the high school located just on west on Virginia and
Louisiana.
No, it's
just throwing that out there, Jay?
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely just lost it.
I'll be honest, I don't know.
It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place over there.
It's been a while since I've looked at the old maps.
Here's John Leidy down on the sidelines. And I believe John Leidy does not have his mic in.
Well, sometimes the ref may not allow it. Who knows? You know, it's up to his discretion.
That's true.
We can kind of hear.
not able to hear really what's going on down there. You know, sometimes the official will want to talk to the players without the mic.
That's true.
And then allow them to do the coin toss at some point. But right now we are not able to hear the officials.
And that allows us to get more time for ourselves. And, you know, we don't get enough in a 3-hour game broadcast.
Did I mention Lake Forest? That's where they were at.
Call the toss.
Here we go.
That's the head. That's the tail. You're going to call it. We'll agree on what he says. Then I'll toss it. If I drop it, we'll do it again.
Talking to Zach Lee, the
Ready?
quarterback.
What's it called? Tails. He called tails. It is tails. You want to toss? It's your option. Defer. You want to defer? Let me give that signal. All right. McKinney, it's your choice. You want the ball? Which end do you want to kick from? You want to kick from the clock, going to the north. All right, gentlemen, turn your backs that way.
All right, McKinney Boyd has won the coin toss, and they have elected to defer. So McKinney will get the ball first. McKinney will stand with its back to the north end zone, be moving right to left. Starting off this game, it was Travis Yarborough who made the call for McKinney Boyd, the backup quarterback, the junior, and also the kicker. Let's go over the starting offense for the McKinney Lions real quick. It's Chris Philippi up front, the left tackle. The left guard is Tyler Peterson. The center, Nate Leonard. The right guard is Michael Choate. The right tackle is Michael Savarino. The wideouts, obviously the sophomore Matt Lipka, 16 catches, 381 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the season as McKinney Boyd comes through their helmet. Split out wide on the other side for McKinney, Dario Jackson, the junior, Quentin Benson in the slot, and also Jared Farley in the slot. Anthony Butler, the running back for McKinney Boyd. For McKinney High, McKinney Boyd defense starting up front weekend, Justin Cordova. The nose guard, Reese Redmond. The defensive end, Keith Owens. The cornerbacks, Lamar Peoples and Parker Bolinas. The linebackers, Cameron Mazer, Ryan Garrett, Jamal Miner, Matt Morton. And the safeties, Philip Sears and Jacob Sigler. And once again, Miller Burns is injured and will not play tonight for McKinney Boyd.
One thing I'd like to highlight before we get to the anthem and things like that, if you'll recall the last week's game, how the Boyd Broncos secondary started to adapt to Springtown's passing game. And I'll get to that point here when
I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break during the anthem. We'll come back afterwards. You're listening to McKinney ISD football on 97.5 KLAK. It is football time in Texas. The Royal Pride Band of McKinney High. A wonderful, wonderful rendition of our national anthem here at Ron Poe Stadium on a beautiful, gorgeous Friday evening. And it is just about underway. I can't wait for this one to get started. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about the freshman game from a year ago here in a moment.
Yeah, I want to highlight a couple matchups. The first starts off with the Boyd Broncos secondary, as I made reference to before the break. Last week, they got torched early, made a couple of adjustments, and really played well after that. And they're facing a lot better quarterback, a quarterback who doesn't look at his receiver right as the play begins and keep looking at him. So it's going to be incumbent upon that. And then on the flip side of the thing, it's really going to be important for the McKinney Lion defense, as particularly the linebacking core, to not let Alves get outside. When he gets outside, that's when he causes a lot of problems for opposing defenses.
Well, Travis Yarborough is about to tee this one up. It's not Yarborough, however. It'll be Philip Richardson kicking off for McKinney Boyd. Boyd again with their back to the south end zone. And McKinney Lions with their back to the north end zone. Back deep, Reggie Robinson for McKinney. And he will be flanked out there by Matt Lipka. And also Ty Gerald. We're underway. A low line drive kick going to be taken by Lipka at the 12. Comes right up the left hash and down at the 27-yard line. So McKinney will start off first from their own 27-yard line, moving right to left. Let's talk a little bit about this freshman game from a year ago. The two sophomore quarterbacks that are in tonight. last year played freshman football, if you can believe that. 60-43, McKinney Boyd won. Darren Alves, Boyd's quarterback, had 391 total yards, and Zach Lee threw for 229. They accounted for 10 of the 16 touchdowns in that game a year ago. This ought to be a barn burner. Here is Lee, and he will hand off to the right side, and not much doing there on first down for McKinney as Anthony Butler carries it for about maybe a yard and a half. Jacob Sigler on the stop for McKinney Boyd comes in with 15 tackles and 1 interception, giving him 16 right there.
Yeah, simple off-tackle play to the right side. They're not doing a whole lot fancy early, and generally the first few plays are where you start to test the defense to see what matchups, particularly along the offensive line, will work well during the course of the game.
Now Lipka will be to the left side, the near side over here, split out wide. Zach Lee looks that way, throws, it's caught, and breaking away, it fumble. But Lipka gets back on it at the 45-yard line. A nice job of coming from behind and poking that ball through. It was Parker Bolinas who poked it out, and Lipka actually ran a couple of more yards, jumped on it, recovered his own fumble, and hey, what a nice job.
Boy, he got lucky there because there were about 4 white shirts who were ready for the ball to bounce any other way except the way it did. Lipka caught a break there because the bounce basically went straight ahead the way he was running. He was able just to kind of scoop it up and fall down. But let me tell you, that's a big bullet dodge right now for the Lions.
Farley checks in for Hart at the slot position. First down and 10 for McKinney, and Farley just about went in motion and decided not to. Hand off Butler left tackle, and he's brought down almost immediately and fights for a yard. But Ryan Garrett is going to be credited with the tackle. Garrett almost had him behind the line of scrimmage, but Butler was able to fight for at least 1 yard. And it'll be second down and 9 with 10:37 left to go in the first quarter. No score.
Yeah, really close to the very similar to the first play of the game, except this time to the different sides. And right now what you're doing is you're seeing the Bronco defense not get rid of their contain, and not only that, they're getting pushed up the field.
Jackson comes near side, and Lipka will split out to the right this time. First time we've seen this look. Butler in the backfield. Man goes in motion. Lee wants to throw it, and he hits his man out in the flat, and he hits his wide receiver, Quentin Benson. Actually, the slot receiver, the junior, came in with 4 catches for 40 yards on the season, and he adds 1 for about 2 yards there. Cameron Mazer on the tackle for McKinney Boyd.
Again, really well defended there. Mazer was basically reading the pass all along. It was supposed to be a simple screen pass, but unfortunately for the Lions, 2 guys came up unblocked, and it's easy to make an open field tackle when you've got another guy to your side.
Third down and 7 for McKinney, moving right to left. 9:34 left to go in the first, no score. Anthony Butler moves directly to the right of Lee, who's in shotgun formation. 3-step drop, looking to the left. Now flushed out of the pocket, in trouble, and throws it out of bounds. There's a flag down near his wide receiver, Quentin Benson. So we'll check that. Lee escaped trouble. Someone had him by the shirt tail and almost threw him down, but Lee was able to fight out of it and at least throw the ball out of bounds.
Well, and again, it goes back to good, solid defense. The secondary actually had blown coverage. Jared Farley was running down basically the middle of the screen, middle of the field, running a post. And it looked like the penalty is going to be on the Broncos.
It was a defensive hold on the secondary. Like you said, the blown coverage, someone had to grab a hold of somebody.
Yeah, and again, a big break for the Lions. We saw it first on the fumble, and now they were facing a 4th down situation. They got good pass rush, forced Lee to make a bad throw, but unfortunately for the Broncos, they were holding while it happened.
Instead of 4th down, it is now 1st down for McKinney. 9:22 left to go in the first, just underway. Lipka will come near side. Jackson split out wide right. Lee in shotgun formation with 2 receivers to the right in the slot. Man goes in motion over there, throws it to him once again. That's Benson again, and he's going to get about 3, 4, 5 yards on that quick hitter. Lamar Peoples makes the stop, and again, Quentin Benson just goes in motion from left to right, and as soon as the ball is snapped back to the shotgun quarterback, he just throws it out to him as he's still in motion and rolls out to the flat.
Yeah, to my naked eye, it looked like the same play from 2 plays ago. This time, though, there weren't any unblocked Bronco defenders. Lamar Peoples, though, does a great job throwing off his blocker and making the tackle.
You got to wonder, hey, it didn't work last time. Why would you run again? Run it again.
The blocking scheme worked this time. All you got to do is keep holding your block.
8:40 left to go in the first. No score. McKinney has the ball at 2nd down and 5 from the McKinney Boyd 27. And now that's going to be a false start on McKinney, so bring that one back a little bit.
Well, that'll even the penalty totals for both sides, but in terms of what the penalties mean, you'll take a 2nd and 9 versus the other team giving you a penalty for an automatic first down.
So the ball will now be at the McKinney Boyd 32-yard line.
And let's remember what we've seen really out of all three McKinney teams this year have been sloppy plays in terms of penalties. So that's also going to be a key factor. The team that's able to hurt themselves the least will obviously have a better shot on the final outcome.
2nd down and 10 for McKinney. Shotgun is Lee. Butler stands directly to his left. Lipka split out wide left. Lee looks that way, throws it, fires it, caught at the 25 and taken down right at the 25-yard line. Parker Bolinas makes the stop. And Lipka, once he gets the ball, you still have to bring him down. He's a tough guy to bring down. A big, thick kid, about 6'1" or so.
And you look at him, he doesn't look overly strong, but you don't necessarily need to be that. You just have to have a good center of balance, and that's what he does. On that play, it was a simple button hook again. He planted his foot to make the cut while the ball was in the air, and that's really hard to defend. Give credit to Bolinas there. He didn't get a whole lot of yards after he caught the ball.
Jared Farley brings the play in. He'll stand at the left slot. Lipka wide out to his left. Lee rolls right side, looking in trouble. Now throws it down the field. Has his man, and it's caught by Dario Jackson and out of bounds for a first down at the 15-yard line, maybe the 16. Lamar Peoples was in coverage.
Yeah, he not quite sure what happened. He was with his man up until the break, and all of a sudden there's a huge gap between the two, and Peoples didn't come into cover. And again, you got to feel sorry for the defensive line. They did their job again.
Talking about last year's freshman game with this Zach Lee and Matt Lipka combination. Lee last year in that game completed 12 passes. Well, Lipka caught 11 of them for 247 yards. Here is Zach Lee. Handoff Butler up the middle, left tackle, fighting for some yardage down to the 9-yard line. So a nice run by Butler. It's been throw, and mixed the run in there, and now we see a late flag.
Yeah, it came after the play, so, likely some extracurricular activities, and both sides are obviously saying it was the other side who did it.
It was Jacob Sigler who finally brought down Anthony Butler, but it was a nice gain all the way to the 9-yard line from the 22. So a personal foul against McKinney. We'll wipe that one out.
Well, and the thing is you get really close. You're looking at a 1st and 10, balls at the 17. You get a nice little run up the middle, looking at maybe a 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3 in that range, and then you commit a 15-yard penalty when the play is over, essentially making it 2nd and long.
I'll tell you what, isn't it nice to see the gold back in McKinney?
Oh, absolutely.
This reminds me of years ago when McKinney, the Ron Poe era when it was all gold. Now, a few years ago you used to see nothing but the navy blue in the crowd. Now the gold has come back. Everybody's wearing gold T-shirts around here.
Well, it is one of the most recognizable colors. There's a reason taxi cabs are yellow, and yellow's not even a good shade of gold, if you will.
2nd down and 18 from the McKinney Boyd 24-yard line. Lee looks Lipka's way to the left side, and in the end zone, Lipka catches it. It is touchdown time in Texas. A 24-yard pitch and catch from Zach Lee to Matt Lipka, and he jumps over Parker Bolinas for the score.
Well, there wasn't much Parker could do better in coverage. I mean, he's just, for all intents and purposes, a little shorter than Lipka. Lipka just reached kind of over him. I don't want to say, in what we've now cliched, the Alvin Harper, but that's kind of what it was. Parker was in front of the receiver, had a break on the ball and couldn't get it.
C.J. Gonzalez on for the extra point, and it is going to be no good. Might have pushed it wide right, and I think that's going to be the call. 6:48 left to go in the first. McKinney strikes first blood over Boyd, 6-0. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. How about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay?
9 plays, 69 yards, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Ran off the clock. A 24-yard connection between Zach Lee and Matt Lipka, and it's 6-0 McKinney. And by the way, Lee picking up where he left off last week. You know, he was 18 of 20 last week against Richardson, already 5 of 5 for 66 yards.
How many times over the next 1, 2, 3 years are we going to hear Lee to Lipka?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about that, how good they are now. I mean, you never see that. You see a quarterback, or you might see a receiver. I mean, you know, look at Douglas and Herbal. Herbal's gone. Douglas is still here. That's going to be amazing.
C.J. Gonzalez is going to kick this one off. It's going to be a high kick and go out of bounds, looks like. Oh, it stays in somehow. Picked up by, is that A.J. Jones for McKinney Boyd coming up to the 25-yard line. So McKinney Boyd will take over. Up front for McKinney Boyd, William Smalley, the left tackle, Landry Kemp, the left guard. Center is Rusty Walton. Brenton Liggins, the right guard, the right tackle, Brent White. The wide receiver is Jeff Fuller with 6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Also, Grant Gibson split out wide. The slot receivers, Montarius Pittman and Cameron Mazer. And also you'll see Joseph Robinson, A.J. Jones, and Nate Hill in the backfield at some point.
Boy, A.J. Jones displayed the reason why sometimes it's not a good idea to see if it'll roll out of bounds.
Here's Darren Alves, the sophomore quarterback who can run the football. He's going to fake the hand. Guess what? He's running up the middle. And he's got the 30 on a 6-yard gain on first down up to the 31-yard line. Ryan Hughes makes the stop for McKinney. Let's give you the McKinney starting defense. Matt Opensinski, the right end. Manuel Chavarria, Michael Riancho, and Jordan Kilwine up front. The cornerbacks are Andy Martinek and Prescott Mack. The linebackers, Joseph Blaquier, Ryan Hughes, Mitch McLenar, and Josh Erickson. And the strong safety is Daniel Brash. Second down and 6. And this is going to be a handoff to Nate Hill, running left tackle. Not much doing there. Maybe a yard for McKinney Boyd. Nate Hill came into the game with 18 carries and 83 yards and 1 touchdown.
Well, we're really looking at, for what I think is an advantage for the McKinney Lions, their run defense is fairly solid. The thing is, will they be able to tackle Alves when he has the ball? Because he's like a pinball machine. He just bounces off everything. That play was Nate Hill, and he was wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage.
4 receivers to the near side. Moving left to right, McKinney Boyd. Alves is going to run it. Gets a nice block, makes a move to the right side, and goes out of bounds real close to the first down marker. Let's check down with John Leidy. John, are you able to see that one down there? And I don't know if he is or not.
Guys, that's very close, and it's actually going to be a first down as I signal it right now. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks very much, John, on the first down call.
Well, I was going to mention, the Lion rush defense has been good this season, but they have struggled with athletic quarterbacks. Go back to their first game of the season, they'll only lost Tyrant Rollison, 15 carries, 115 yards, the quarterback for Sulphur Springs. So Al's bringing it to him here early.
Gibson to the near side, Nate Hill in the backfield. He gets the hand, running up the middle, and he's going to be brought down almost immediately by Jordan Kilwine. That's about the second or third time we've already seen Jordan Kilwine get off the pile. It'll be second down and long, and a man is down. An injured McKinney Boyd Bronco is on the field at the 36-yard line, and this is going to be a long timeout. And this is going to be one that we'll probably have to take a little pause here for a moment. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. With 5:13 left in the first quarter, McKinney Lions lead 6-0. We'll be back in just a few moments on 97.5 KLAK.
And McKinney ISD football on 97.5 KLAK.
Well, sometimes in high school football you have injuries, and sometimes they're really bad. And this one is not the life-threatening kind or anything like that, but this one is a very, very bad injury. Nate Hill is still on the ground at the 36-yard line. He's the young man who carried the ball. He had a Joe Theismann-like, and we're not speculating here. He has a broken leg.
Yeah, we saw it.
There's no speculation whatsoever.
His season's done.
He has a broken leg, and he's at the McKinney Boyd's own 36-yard line, still on the ground. They brought the stretcher out. It was like I said, Joe Theismann-like. Everybody remembers the Joe Theismann
reminiscent of Willis McGahee a couple of years ago. I mean, and of course, McGahee, he's come back, and I'm sure he'll recover. But still yet, you hate to see an injury of any kind, especially when you're talking about student athletes.
Yeah.
This is the absolute worst thing you ever want to see.
Not the absolute worst thing. But
an injury like this. How's that?
Yeah, I tell you what. I was at Bearcat Stadium in 1995 when Trinell Walker was playing cornerback for Sherman, and that is probably the most sad moment that I've ever witnessed in high school.
I was about to say that is the absolute. That is the absolute there.
And with Trinell,
for those who don't know, go ahead and kind of.
Well, Trinell was paralyzed that night. He actually ran into one of his own players. And that seems like that's the way it happens every time. It's never you running into someone else from the other team. It's always somebody just getting in the way, and that's what happened that night with Trinell Walker in Sherman. And the young man has been an inspiration to a lot of people up in North Texas.
Well, I was about to say, just a couple of weeks ago, Coach Young there in Sherman, they had Mr. Walker to speak to a group of students, and speak he did. He spoke to a whole auditorium full of students for a solid hour, received a standing ovation and everything else. I mean, but nonetheless,
Speaking of that program, you mentioned Coach Drew Young. Hey, let's go ahead and give our thoughts and prayers out to Coach Young, as he suffered a heart attack, had 90% blockage a couple weeks ago.
And he's back on the sidelines tonight.
Yeah, back on the sidelines tonight, so glad to see that up in Shermantown. But right here, Nate Hill is down with a broken leg.
Well, and this is one of the things as a paramedic you really have to be careful for, because if you don't handle it quite properly, you could end up making the injury worse than it is now.
Is it me, or did some lights go out here at Ron Poe?
One of those booths next to us turned it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, Jay, you had a score for us?
Yes. Right now, the Denison Yellow Jackets over Denton Geyer, 7-0 in the first quarter of play. A big thanks to RS back at home.
I think Brandon had some more scores from last night, I think.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get some of those going from around the area. We'll start off in District 5, 5A. Only because it's a former district mate of McKinney. Keller beating Justin Northwest 39-31. And you remember their fantastic running back. Well, this is his senior year. What was it, Drew? Remember what I'm talking about, Monty? Their Justin Northwest's fantastic running back, Drew.
Don't do that to me.
Sorry to do that. Well, I did it to myself. So, yeah, just know that they've got a fantastic back, and they lost last night. Another former district mate for these McKinney High School teams, Hebron, defeats Carrollton Creekview 35-12. That one's at Standridge Stadium, one we're well familiar with. How about a District 9 4A score? It's Lake Dallas beating Frisco Centennial. Really no surprise in that one, 35-17. That was at Frisco ISD Stadium and not Pizza Hut Park. DISD score for you in 13-4A. It was Hillcrest all over. Well, I shouldn't say all over. It's a field goal. 17-14. That down in Pleasant Grove Stadium. And south of the Metroplex in 15-4A, Arlington Seguin loses at home to Midlothian, 19-14.
We should check down with John Leidy. We have not done that yet. He probably had the best look at this situation. John, don't gross us out with this information, but go ahead and tell us what you saw.
Guys, when y'all say y'all are comparing this to the Willis McGahee injury a couple years back, I think that's a pretty good comparison, and they are taking a lot of precautions, and no, it's not life-threatening for the listeners out there. He will recover, but most likely will probably be out for the season, but back up to y'all. Okay,
thanks, John. A very, very it's different down there on the sidelines. I can tell you, I did sidelines a long time ago, and you get all of the emotion of the players and somber, and it's a different atmosphere. We're up here, we're away from the game, and John is down right next to the McKinney Lions, and you have to be a little bit solemn.
Well,
down there.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, if you look down at the sidelines right now, and you look at McKinney High, I mean, this is not a guy that they go to high school with. This is a McKinney Boyd player that's down on the field. Yeah, you look.
They know each other.
Yes, they know each other. They're down. Everybody's down on one knee. In some cases in circles praying. Again, I think everybody here accepts the fact that these are student athletes. I mean, and that's one of the dangers of this game.
Well, a couple of things. You look at what John has to go through. I mean, you said he's feeling the emotion. And not joking, a sideline guy does not want to talk right now.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to say the news. He doesn't want to be the one talking when everybody else is thinking. Because as a player, you're like, that could be any of us.
Yeah. Well, we have this extended timeout. Let's go over some of our sponsors for you. I tell you what I'd like to recognize is the Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week. Kaylin Frink is our Athlete of the Week. Kaylin Frink is a senior at McKinney Boyd High School on the varsity volleyball team. Kaylin excels not only at volleyball, but off the court. She is an exceptional student. We also want to thank Germain Designs, as always. They provide our wardrobe. Jay's wearing our 2004 version.
Retro tonight.
We still haven't got Jay a new uniform yet, and we may not. We like the retro jackets there that he has. But if you want some embroidery done, your company logo, anything like that.
Well, and proof that it lasts. This thing, this was from our original, this was our inaugural season of McKinney.
I have a 1994 Sherman Bearcat Germain Design uniform.
And it's still in great condition, I would assume.
I could wear it. If I could still fit in it, I could still wear it. But they do great work up there.
That's a great thing about me, Monty. It was one size fits all,
Germain Designs in Denison. Go see them. And here's a good sign. This is a standing ovation from the McKinney Lion faithful and the McKinney Boyd faithful across the way as they get Nate Hill up on the stretcher. And Nate Hill, son, you played your last football game in high school, and well, I can't tell you. It's got to be a tough feeling down there. You were a tremendous running back, and let's see you on Saturday next year. How about that?
I was about to say, senior year. You hate to see any season end, but and speaking, a little bit from experience, I had an injury where I broke my foot my senior year and didn't get to play the final 2 weeks of baseball. So, there's a lot of emotions down there on that field, and probably none stronger than those that are running through Nate Hill's head right now. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts going through his head, I'm sure, but nonetheless, like you said, it's a good thing to hear the support of this crowd, the support of both sidelines, and looks like we'll be back to some football here in just a little bit.
Hey, have you looked across the way at the McKinney Boyd fans? How many are? Listen, I've done a lot of games here at Ron Poe Stadium. I don't remember the visitor stands being that packed. Maybe for the first Crosstown Showdown, maybe.
Yeah, the first cross, I was here for that. I would have to say yes, it was that packed. That was quite a night.
Yeah, that was quite
a night.
Well, and this is probably Boyd's biggest crowd to see them play football, too.
This is a very, very large crowd. I'll tell you what, this is what Friday night is about in North Texas, in all of Texas. Did we forget where we were? No. 2nd down and 9 for McKinney Boyd, moving left to right with 5:12 and rolling here in the first quarter. Now it's going to be second quarter everywhere else, but it's still first quarter right here in McKinney, Texas. 6-0, McKinney leading, and this will be Zach Jones in motion. Will stand behind Alves. Alves is going to run left, bounces out of one tackler. Actually, he doesn't even touch him, and he's going to gain about 4 yards up to the 39-yard line, maybe 3 yards. That's a nice job by McKinney, and Ryan Hughes is stuffing around the far side of the field and pushing back. It'll still roll the clock at 4:40.
Yeah, Alves had some nice moves on that play, but I kind of want to highlight the start of the play. This will be the hardest play all night, coming back from a kind of a slowdown like that, both from mentally but also physically. They were sitting on the sideline cold.
You saw Alves. He was going full throttle.
Well, now with Nate Hill out of the game, that may put more pressure on Alves to run the ball even more. 3rd down and long, 3rd and 7 for McKinney Boyd here. And Alves wants to throw. Now he rolls out the other way. Throws it down the field looking for Fuller. And Fuller goes up for it and comes down with it at the 17-yard line. Jeff Fuller jumps over Andy Martinek and comes down with it. Fuller, his 7th catch of the year, had 111 yards and a touchdown coming in, and 101 of that came last week at Springtown.
Well, and we talk about, Alves does in terms of style and the way he does it visually. He's a lot more pretty runner than he is passer, but he threw that ball 40 yards in the air on the run. He was able to stop and plant, but that's not easy to do.
Shotgun Alves looking left, throws it Fuller again, caught for a 5-yard gain and wrestled down almost immediately at the 15-yard line. I said 5-yard, probably more like a 3-yard gain. And with 3:42 and rolling, McKinney still leads 6-0 as Andy Martinek makes the stop there. But McKinney Boyd is knocking on the door and making some noise for the first time tonight.
Well, I noticed earlier on the drive what Boyd was doing was going with this spread formation, having 4 and 5 receivers out in the pattern to spread the defense to make it easier to run. But now what they're doing is making the McKinney line defense respect their ability to pass, too, backing them off the line of scrimmage a bit.
3:17 and rolling. Alves in shotgun. And he's going to roll out left side. Left tackle bounces out of 2 tacklers, but can't escape the third one. Man, I tell you what, this kid's fun to watch. Jordan Kilwine's the guy who finally brought him down, but he was the third guy who tried.
Can we please get him the nickname of Pinball? I mean, literally, that's what he's bouncing off of people.
There was a young man by the name of Michael Bailey in Howe that ran exactly like him, but he was a running back. 3rd down and 5, and that was about 15 years ago. So nobody will know who he is. Don't even try to look him up.
That's why I was silent.
3rd down and 5. Alves shotgun, rolls out right, wants to pitch it, and does. Has Robinson, has the 10, lowers his head, pushes his way down to the 8-yard line, close to a first down before Mitch McKinney makes the stop. They may have to stretch this one out and pull the chains, and I think they're going to try. John Leidy's down on the sidelines. No, John can't see it. And they're going to go ahead and call it 4th down. So it'll be 4th and 1, right at 2 minutes to go in the first. McKinney Lions up 6-0.
Yeah, the near spot is kind of off a little bit. I'll let you get back to the play. 4th
down and 1. They're going to go for it. Handoff. Right tackle, Zach Jones, first down to the 5-yard line. Mitch McKinney makes the stop again, and with Nate Hill out of the ball game, not only tonight but for the rest of the season, I think Zach Jones's carries are going to go way up.
Yeah, him and A.J. Jones will basically kind of split it a bit.
We haven't mentioned this, but A.J. Jones and Jeff Fuller at one time wore the blue and gold of McKinney, so they have a little extra want to tonight. Here's Zach Jones, goes in motion, stands behind the quarterback, running the option again, pitches it to Jones, in trouble behind the line, and he's going to stay in trouble and go down at the 8-yard line. A big loss there of about 3 or 4 yards. Josh Erickson, the outside linebacker, makes the stop for McKinney. We're at 1:18 and rolling in the first. McKinney up 6-0.
Monty, do you know if you watch Alves run the option, you know what he does right before he pitches? Cuts away from the back to get the defender moving away from the pitchman. Obviously, it didn't work there because there was another defender. But that's a great little move, and I don't know if he was taught that or if he picked it up, but a sophomore quarterback doing that's great.
Alves wants to throw, has Fuller, caught at the 5, dancing his way towards the end zone, fighting, and down at the 1-yard line. Fuller trying to will his way into the end zone, rode Andy Martinek for about 3 yards.
Well, kudos to Ryan Hughes, because Hughes was the one that came up with the kill shot there that kept Fuller from getting into the end zone.
So it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 1. 33 seconds to go here in the first, and rolling. Full house backfield for McKinney Boyd. Alves is going to roll right tackle, and he's into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas. Guess who? Darren Alves.
I'm not sure if that was a quick snap or what, but it didn't look like a whole lot of people were moving on that play. The backfield was mostly still. I don't know if that was to fool the linebackers, but as soon as the Alves received the snap, he was heading forward and was able to find a hole and pinball his way through.
Well, this will be Travis Yarborough on for the extra point, and it's blocked. It's blocked. Picking up is Josh Erickson at the 35-40, and he's going to be tackled shy of the midfield stripe, taken down by McKinney Boyd's Cody Sieber, or that would have been 2 points going the other way. But right now, hey, we've got a tie ball game, 6-6. This ought to be a great one. Don't go anywhere. 97.5 KLAK. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
13 plays, 75 yards, 6 minutes and 26 seconds ran off the clock. Of course, a 1-yard touchdown sneak by Darren Alves, and can't miss out on that big 44-yard completion from Alves to Jeff Fuller. That really got it going.
American Bank, the key to your dreams. And this is going to be McKinney Boyd and the quick kick. They are going to kick it deep, however, and send Ty Gerald all the way back to the 5-yard line. Might as well watch it go out, and he does. It was a big high kick by Philip Richardson, a nice kick, but because it wasn't caught,
but didn't he?
It took a weird bounce.
Did he not touch it?
I didn't see him touch it.
If he touches it and it goes out of bounds, you go where it's out of bounds, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he must have not touched it then, because the referee had the great vantage point, and as much as people like to rip on the ref, they usually get it right.
Let's go down with John John Leidy. Well, that's tough. I tell you, that is tough. Let's go down with John Leidy and talk about that touchdown and that drive by McKinney Boyd. John, go ahead.
Guys, actually, from my viewpoint, he did not touch it, and the ref was right there to make the great call. Back up to y'all.
All right, John. And, we could talk a little bit about that drive by McKinney Boyd. Where you at, John? Go ahead and talk to us about that drive.
He's speechless.
Man, that must have.
It was a great drive for John.
That drive right there was great. Great energy for McKinney Boyd coming out of that injury there. Let's see if they can keep on momentum going. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot, John. John provides comic relief sometimes.
To be fair, he's working on a pretty big delay that most folks don't know about.
Yeah, that's true. Here's the kickoff by Philip Richardson. It's going to be taken by Ty Gerald, this time at the 20. Comes up near side, comes up the left hash, trying to find the near corner, runs 50 yards across the field, and he's going to be taken down, and a late flag comes in as I think it's going to be a face mask coming in. One of the tacklers for McKinney Boyd was the kicker, Philip Richardson.
Yeah, and right there, Gerald did a lot of running for really not a whole lot of gain. He went from the far side to the near side.
About 20 yards on the return.
Yeah, and what happened, the kicker kind of takes his legs out, but I think one of the other tacklers there got a hold of him on the face. So we've got an offsides first on the Broncos, and then in comes the face mask, and like I expected, it was an unintentional face mask. So McKinney has the option here of making them re-kick it again, or taking the penalty from the face mask.
You take the face mask, and you're almost at midfield.
Yeah, I think that's the one I would choose too.
Bobby Ray's the head coach for McKinney, coming from Richardson Pierce. We don't know a lot about his game decisions. We're not familiar with him as we were with Coach Todd McVay. I'm telling you right now, if Todd McVay were still here, I would look for the Statue of Liberty about now with Coach Todd McVay. But, Coach Bobby Ray's, we don't know. There's 13 seconds left to go in the first. I doubt you'll see anything like that here. Zach, especially when you have a quarterback like Zach Lee and a wide receiver like Matt Lipka. So it'll be Lipka and Jackson split out wide. Farley and Benson in the slot. Lee's going to hand off to Butler up the middle, left tackle. And that's Robinson, actually. Robinson busts his way through a couple of tackles down to the 49-yard line in Boyd territory, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. We have a low-scoring affair and a tie ball game at the end of one. It is 6-6. We're going to take a quick timeout before we come back for the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
At the end of the first quarter of play.
We're clear, guys.
Man, I saw Jared Farley get.
Grab me a water.
Ow!
Sorry.
I saw Jared Farley kind of get hit from behind, and I was thinking, oh man, hope
another one. I saw it too.
You never think that until it happens, and then you start knee jerking over everyone. You're like, oh, the odds are 99% it's not going to happen again.
But I mean,
30 seconds,
especially
stand by.
in this. I mean, an injury like that happens once
ASU
every
football once again, and
5.
Chick-fil-A at
I mean,
75 and
I've been
380
doing
in
this for
McKinney.
6 years, and I
11
mean,
o'clock every
there's
Friday
muscle
night
tear.
after the
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Whether
It's
you
not-
need to feed a hungry linebacker or
good.
just want a quick snack, Chick-fil-A is the
like I'm bringing
post-game
us back.
place to be. Come on in for an
Huh?
old-fashioned,
bringing us back.
hands-fun Chick-fil-A milkshake featuring delicious
Maybe even do a
Chick-fil-A
play-by-play.
iced dream,
Yeah.
topped off with whipped
Hope
cream
not.
and a cherry. Available in
I'll do it
vanilla,
if he ain't
chocolate,
back.
strawberry,
I'll
and
do
cookies
it.
and cream.
I mean-
Chick-fil-A, just off
He's here.
75 on 380 West in McKinney, is the post-game place to be.
Now back to Monty Walker and McKinney ISD football on 97.5 KLAK.
Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and the gang. It'll be McKinney switching and heading north now, moving left to right. And Lee's going to run the option. That's Robinson. He pitches it to, and Robinson's extremely fast. He's going to make his way down to the 46-yard line. Not enough for a first. Actually, no, not enough for a first. Jamel Miner makes the stop for McKinney Boyd.
Nice job blocking out on the perimeter by receiver Quentin Benson as he held up his blocker enough to allow the Lions to advance it past the line of scrimmage and then ultimately get a few yards out of it to set up a 3rd and short.
11:28 left to go in the second quarter. Tie ball game, 6-6, McKinney and McKinney Boyd. McKinney has the ball at the Boyd 46-yard line. Handoff Robinson, left guard, and he's going down almost immediately. And the ball falls out at the end of the play, but he was down. Reese Redmond makes the stop for McKinney Boyd. It'll bring up 4th down and a very, very close 1 yard. Maybe, they have to get to the 44-yard line for the first, and the ball is just shy of the 45, so maybe a long one.
Well, I thought I saw Robinson kind of sneak forward and fall that extra yard or two.
And they're going to go for it here. McKinney's going for it on 4th and 1 at the McKinney Boyd 45-yard line.
Could be the pooch.
Trying to draw him off sides? Maybe. Butler in the backfield. Lee gets it, runs to the right side off right tackle, and it's going to be very, very close to the first down. Jacob Sigler makes the stop for Boyd, and they signal first down McKinney.
Boy, Monty, you know from the years we've been working together, I don't like the quarterback sneak when you're in shotgun because you got to run the ball 3 yards.
Well, you've seen it twice tonight.
Yeah, you've got to run it 3 yards just to get to the line of scrimmage, and by that time you've already tipped your hand. And so you saw that he just got the yard he needed.
You know, the McKinney North used to run with Eric Herbal and Leonard Barbosa, the shotgun, but he would take off running on the way and then get the snap. Strange formation. First down and 10 for McKinney. 3-step drop from shotgun is Lee. Throwing it deep, looking for Lipka, who has to come back for it, and it's in and out of his hands. That one falls incomplete at the 15-yard line. Parker Bolinas in coverage, but that one just behind Lipka a little bit.
Well, and that's really a good pass for the reason of if Lipka's not going to get it, no one else is. The safety coming over on help, and if that's where it might have, quote-unquote, should have been, the safety, bare minimum, tips it away.
And Lipka still nearly made the catch.
That's the thing. I mean, you're looking at a great receiver. I mean, you mentioned Todd McVeigh. You wonder if they would have run the same system with him.
You
of
know
course,
what?
we love the guy.
Talked to Todd McVeigh after the end of last year, and he couldn't wait to get Lee and Lipka.
Yeah. Well, who wouldn't?
And here's 2nd down and 10. Handoff to Brett Helt, running left tackle. He's got some room. 40, 35, wrestled down after about a 10-yard gain, maybe 9 3/4. It looks like it's going to be a little short of a first down. Philip Sears on the stop for McKinney Boyd. Just about a 10-yard gain there.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite players in the years I've been doing McKinney ISD football because he doesn't command a lot of attention. You know, if you happen to walk by him in school, he's not going to say, interview me. He's just going to go out and do his job. And in this case, he gets his first carry of the year, almost takes it, or of the game rather, almost takes it to the first down mark because no one's expecting the guy. He just gets up and goes back to where he was before. You
know, Brett Helt reminds me of another McKinney running back by the name of Brett, and that was Brett Anderson from years ago.
Yep.
Here's Butler getting the carry on 3rd and short. And I don't believe he got the first down. Might have even lost a foot or so. Justin Cordova makes the stop for McKinney Boyd. Came in with 11 tackles and 2 sacks. And it'll be 4th down and 2. Well, a long one, let's say.
Yeah, it's hard to believe on a short little run like that you actually lost yardage because it looked like he was running forward. But again, it was more of a thing where he was moving more laterally than going east-west or north-south.
3 receivers to the right, and the ball was snapped. And as soon as the ball was snapped, the flags came out. So this will probably be against McKinney, and it'll probably make them punt because it was 4th and 1.5. And now with a false start, back them up 5 yards, so it'll be 4th and 5.5, and you'll probably see the punter come out for the first time tonight.
And Brandon, we've talked about this. Drive-killing penalties right there, perfect example. That's 3 penalties tonight for 25 yards against McKinney High.
Maybe not necessarily. There's still offense out on the field.
And
maybe a quick kick?
Well,
safety thinks
the
so.
punter, C.J. Gonzalez. They're going to throw the ball down the field, looking for Lipka at the 15-yard line. Makes the catch down at the 10-yard line. Lamar Peoples in coverage, but that was just a fade route, and it caught everybody by surprise.
You know why? Because the Bronco defense was expecting the quick kick. The safety went back to receive the punt, and when Lee saw that, simply took the snap, threw it up. Safety could not react to it, and it was essentially one-on-one coverage. And again, perfect pass by Zach Lee. And this kid has an amazing, accurate arm.
Lee is in shotgun formation at the McKinney Boyd 9-yard line. 8:13 left to go in the second quarter. Tie ball game, 6-6. Shotgun, handoff, Butler, left tackle. He's got some room down to the 5. Breaking a tackle down to the 4-yard line, maybe down to the 3. It'll be 1st and goal. No, it'll be 2nd and goal from about the 4. Jacob Sigler makes the stop for McKinney Boyd.
Well, I'm still in awe of the play before. That was a perfect job. I'm not sure if that
was a Madden play, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Ray's designed that or if there's some sort of audible system or if that was just simply, hey, if they do this, Lipka, and we'll tell the coach, whatever, But that just worked amazing. I mean, perfect job. The chemistry between those two is amazing.
Look out for Lipka, who split out wide left, all alone over there. 3 receivers to the near side. And they're going to hand off up the middle. Anthony Butler into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas from the McKinney Lions. And the Lions will take the lead here, 12-6, leading the PAT.
You almost get the feeling this is shaping up to be whoever blinks first. Right now McKinney scored on their first drive. Then the Broncos answered on their first drive. And then here comes the Lions scoring again. And now it seems like it's going to be that pattern. And right now, whoever blinks first, it seems like might be the deficient.
And the extra point by C.J. Gonzalez is good. So 13-6. The McKinney Lions have the lead with 7:17 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Jay, how about an American Bank and Texas scoring drive recap?
10 plays, 54 yards, 5 minutes and 5 seconds ticked off the clock. A 3-yard touchdown run by Anthony Butler. And, of course, the big 4th down play connection between Lipka and Lee. That play going for 30 yards. By the way, the Lions 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions tonight. Both of them coming in that drive.
13-6, the McKinney Lions lead here over the McKinney Boyd Broncos. Other scores in the area: Wichita Falls Rider over Sherman 14-0 at the end of 1. We also have Abilene 7, Denton Ryan nothing in the first. Richardson Pierce over Forney 7-0, and Frisco over Little Elm 7-0 in the first.
And of course, let's throw in the other McKinney team. They're leading the Colony 7-0.
Here's the kickoff. It's going to be taken by Anthony Butler at the 20-yard line. Sidesteps one man, trying to find the ball, trying to take the ball away from Anthony Jones, or A.J. Jones, rather. And they push him back to the 20-yard line, but he'll give him forward progress up to the 28-yard line, and that's where McKinney Boyd will take over, moving right to left.
Yeah, I give credit to Jones there. They were trying to take the ball from him, and he held on. And, that's been one of his biggest knocks, is his inability sometimes to hang on to the football, but definitely not the case there.
Well, at least in his first game when he wore the blue and gold at McKinney against Fort Worth Western Hills, he put the ball on the turf, which led to McKinney losing that football game. And he will go in motion. A.J. Jones will stand behind Darren Alves in shotgun. He's going to get the carry up the middle. A.J. Jones has some speed, breaks away from one tackler, and goes down at the 36-yard line. So a gain of nearly 8 yards, but it looks like it's going to be brought back. Ryan Hughes makes a stop for McKinney, but there's a flag down right at the line of scrimmage by the line judge.
Well, I was just about to give credit to the interior of the offensive line for the Broncos. Landry Kemp, Rusty Walton, and Benton Liggins created a huge hole for Jones, but never mind.
The referee for tonight's game is Steve Smith, the umpire Lee Smith, the head linesman Tommy Gilliam, the line judge Gary Land, and the back judge Justin Pierce. What are the flag situation penalties look like?
The penalty right there, a false start. That's the 4th penalty against McKinney Boyd. 4 penalties for 20 yards here tonight.
Might as well still give him credit. It's just the play never happened.
First down and 15, and Alves under pressure now, rolls out, gets out of pressure somehow at the 25-30. Wow, he can make something out of nothing.
Well, that's all vision. I mean, he's in terms of seeing the field and where everybody is, I mean, that's an amazing job. I mean, he saw a hole literally out of his periphery and was able to find that hole and dart through it without really even seeing it.
Well, that moves the ball up to the 33-yard line, so a pretty nice gain there on first down. It'll bring it 2nd down and 5, so a 10-yard gain after he was in jail behind the line of scrimmage in pass protection. So 2nd down and 5. He's going to hand off A.J. Jones, running right tackle. Gets a nice block up to the 35 and down right there. They're going to say stayed in bounds. They're going to roll the clock here. Daniel Brash on the stop for McKinney.
Yeah, that nice block you said was Montarius Pittman. It seemed like he came out of nowhere to really spring the run and really keyed that from becoming no gainer to a positive one, and now they're looking at a 3rd and short after being in the hole on first down.
Boyd 1 for 2 tonight on 3rd down conversions, and of course facing a 3rd and short situation here.
Yeah, it'll be 3rd down and about 2.5 with 5:40 left to go on the 2nd quarter clock. Again, we had the long timeout for the injury of Nate Hill. And here's Darren Alves sending A.J. Jones in motion. They're going to fake the hand to him. Alves running up the middle, has the first down and more. Look out, 45 and down at the 48-yard line. He is explosive, and he explodes for a first down and nearly into McKinney territory. Josh Erickson, the outside linebacker, brings him down.
Monty, I've got some homework for you.
Uh-oh.
In between next week's game and now, I want you to kind of ask the coach to see if we can get an answer just how fast his 40 is. You know, because I'm not sure that he's really that fast, but he's definitely quick.
Quick and elusive.
So I'm kind of curious as to what that number is.
First down and 10 for McKinney Boyd, moving right to left. Wants to throw. Throws it in the flat for A.J. Jones. He's in trouble. He escapes away a little bit, and then a sea of gold helmets brings him down after about a 3-yard gain in McKinney territory at the 49-yard line. And, you know, Rob Johnson is giving me the tackles and telling me who makes his tackle on each play. I don't know who he's going to point out there because they were almost all, excuse me.
Yeah, it's like you need a 4 or 5 point laser pointer for that one.
Almost all 11 gold helmets were there, and it chokes me up.
Well, and that's really kind of illustrates the one of the problems with Alv as a quarterback is that pass had really no zip on it and really wasn't that accurate.
Okay. 4:26 left. Yeah, I'm okay. Alves wants to throw for Fuller, and he catches it at the 45-yard line. They're going to say, obviously, his knee was down, as that happens in high school football.
Well, now they're saying incomplete. They're saying he didn't catch the football, and Fuller's talking about it with the officials. So,
well, the receiver's rarely going to say, you know what, you made the right call. He's going to state his case. But from my vantage point, that's definitely the correct call. He didn't have control of it, and the ball hit the ground. And you have to have it in your possession. Even if you hold it outside with both hands and it hits the ground, that's not having control of it.
3rd down and 7. Any chance we see Alves running the football here?
I'd probably say 90% bet on it.
Here's Alves. He wants to throw, drops back, throws it to Fuller, and this time it's off his fingers and falls incomplete. It wouldn't have been a first down anyway. Andy Martinek in coverage. I don't believe Fuller, for one, went the distance to get a first, and
it looked as though he came up about half a yard short on that route.
And he would, even had he caught the ball, he would have been tackled immediately.
But let me tell you, you're looking at a difference between a 4th and 1 and a 4th and 7. That's where you start to think about going for it. So that's a really big play. And that was actually a really good pass by Alves. Fuller just probably was thinking about running.
Back to punt for McKinney Boyd. will be Travis Yarborough, and bad snap. He's going to try to pick it up at his own 40. He's in trouble. Flag comes in. He's wrestled down at the 43-yard line, and that could be disastrous. However, there's a face mask call.
Well, you wonder just exactly what the Bronco coaches are teaching, because Yarborough had kind of the same bouncing ability that Olives did, and that caused the face mask because one of the special teamers was running to get it, and it is the big one. This is a break for the Broncos now.
That is a massive break.
The 15-yard variety is an automatic first down, and it could have gone either way, and it's not one of those things where we get to see a replay and see just exactly how he grabbed onto it, how long he grabbed onto it. But, regardless of where it was, a personal foul is an automatic first down at the 15 yards. And now all of a sudden, again, it goes back to who's making the most mistakes.
Well, I tell you what, that's a penalty that really hurts, because instead McKinney would have had the ball about the McKinney Boyd 44-yard line. And now they're going to give the ball back to McKinney Boyd at their own 39-yard line. 1st and 10. Alves rolling out right side, looking for the pitch. Nope, stops, bounces out of one defender, but goes down. Nice pursuit by McKinney at the 35-yard line. And, hey, I think I've seen Darren Alves go down for a loss. That one time is the only time I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, great pursuit there by McKinney. Want to go back to that last punt. Give a lot of credit to Yarborough. A lot of punters would have just fallen on it and not done anything. He actually made an effort, and because of that effort, it led to the penalty, which kept the drive going.
2nd down and 11 with 3:37 and rolling here in the second quarter. McKinney Lions up on top, 13-6. Zach Jones stands behind Alves. Alves rolling out left, wants to throw, throws it way down the field. It's high, and Fuller has to come back for it, and it falls incomplete. Again, Darren Alves doesn't have the strong arm.
Well, and he was hit as he threw, too, so that didn't help. And that, it may not be strong, it may not be pretty, but he usually, so far at least, has hit Fuller in the area, but because he was hit as he threw, Fuller really had to adjust. And you know what? He almost still made the catch. He went diving for it, and at least made sure it wasn't intercepted.
Alves right now 4 of 7 tonight. Started out 4 of 4. His last 3 passes have been incomplete. And like you said, they've just been hanging in the air way too long.
3rd down and 11 for McKinney Boyd. He wants to throw again across the middle, and this time it is caught at the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. A loose ball. A scramble for it at the 23-yard line. Now a flag is down. This would have been very close to the first down. No indication yet on who has the football. And I believe McKinney Boyd got back on it.
Yeah, anytime you see the kind of receivers or the referees whistle a dead, wave their hands over their head, the ball stays in possession.
It was Cameron Mazer who made the catch for McKinney Boyd. And it's going to be, I think, a personal foul, maybe.
I think it's going to be on Jamario Mack because kind of the referees pulled him back. Yeah,
let's check down with John Leidy and see what John has for us. John, did you find out what that penalty was?
All right. Well, the announcer
guys,
made
there was actually no foul on the play. The McKinney Boyd Broncos did recover the football, but it's going to be about a half a yard shy. They're actually going to try to bring out the change just to see exactly how close it is. But I say again, there was no foul on the play, so there will be no yardage taken off. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks, John. It'll be It was 3rd down and 11, and it was a nice pass across the middle from Alves to Mazer, and it's going to be about what,
half a ruler.
Two lengths
6
of the
inches.
chain short. I mean, it's right there.
Well, okay.
No, take your pick. Well, I want to go back and give Jamario Mack maybe a little bit of an apology. Probably what happened is he ran up to the pile real fast, you see him, made a little contact, not a whole lot, and the official from the backside saw it and threw a flag, and the other official said, no, it wasn't that big a deal, I saw it. So
McKinney Boyd 1 for 1 on 4th down tonight.
4th down and 1, 3:08 left to go in the second quarter. Alves, shotgun, takes it up the middle for the first down. When in doubt, let Alves run the football, and Ryan Hughes stops him. But it's easily enough for the first down as it moved the sticks right now.
Well, I talked on the last McKinney drive about Zach Lee going for it on 4th down out of the shotgun, going to do the quarterback sneak. It's a little different here. One of the things that the shotgun allows a running quarterback to do is have a vision of the field, and also, no offense to Mr. Lee, but Mr. Alves is a little bit quicker.
Well, Alves is quicker than most guys on that field, maybe all of them. He's going to hand off to A.J. Jones this time. Big hole up the middle down to the 12-yard line. A.J. Jones is pretty quick himself, and he takes it down to the 12, close to a first down, and it is a first down. They'll move the sticks once again. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12 and maybe 13-yard line.
Yeah, this is one of the best places to get a first down. You have the ability to get another one without scoring. You're not putting yourself into where you're really constricted on your field position from what you can do from an offensive perspective, because the spread offense doesn't work as well down here.
2 minutes, 33 seconds left to go before half. McKinney Lions on top, 13-6. Man in motion, Boyd. Alves runs the quarterback keeper up the middle. This time not much doing. May gain a yard to the 12-yard line. It'll be Jamario Mack on the stop for McKinney.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job of just throwing his block off. It looked like Alves was going to cut to the left. Mack didn't give up. Literally threw down his blocker, and Alves cut right to him. Mack gave him a bear hug.
2nd down and 9, under 2 minutes now. And whistles will blow before this play can get underway, and it'll be illegal motion.
Again, penalties hurt.
False start against McKinney Boyd.
That's the difference between good teams and bad teams. Is good teams, when they get a 2nd and 9, won't make it worse by going to a 2nd and 14 inside the red zone area. They're good enough to overcome it, but you'd like to not be in that position to begin with.
What did you expect a game like this right before half? 13-6.
That'd be great.
Shotgun, Alves drops straight back, setting up the screen for A.J. Jones. Makes the catch and goes down after a little bit of a gain to about the 13-yard line. Once again, Jamario Mack on the stop for McKinney. 1:32 left to go before half. It's 3rd down and 11.
Well, I'll give, again, Matt credit for not giving up on the play, but part of the problem was that Alves didn't lead Jones just where he needed to be, and what the screen is supposed to do is get runners up the field so you can throw it past those guys.
Look out for Fuller in the near side. They're going to throw it down in the end zone, and it's caught. It's touchdown time in Texas for McKinney Boyd, and it's not Jeff Fuller. It's Cameron Mazer on the catch.
And because you expected Fuller, so did the McKinney defense. They had a couple of guys kind of headed in that direction, and that left Mazer one-on-one coverage in the middle, and Alves is going to hit you right in the middle. Nice job. Beautifully executed play. And that's one of the things having a star on your football team can do, because it makes other people better because they're not having to face the same personnel.
Travis Yarborough on for the extra point, and it's blocked. So we have, for the 2nd straight time, McKinney blocks the extra point by McKinney Boyd.
It's coming from that left side. They're not able to block.
And we have a 13-12 ball game with 1:10 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. About an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay.
A long drive for the Broncos, 14 plays, 72 yards, 6 minutes and 7 seconds off the clock. Of course, a 14-yard touchdown reception by Cameron Masser. And with that, talking about the defenses, defenses played well, but both of these teams have had the ball twice, and both have scored touchdowns twice.
Here's Philip Richardson on to kick this one off. He kicks kind of a low pooch kick to Ty Gerald, who takes it at the 21-yard line, moves up the middle of the field. Nice running room, breaks away from one defender at the 44-yard line, and McKinney will set up shop with pretty good field position, just shy of midfield, moving left to right with 1:01 left to go in the 2nd quarter. And Rob Johnson pointed out, our spotter pointed out during the break, that Daniel Brash was the young man who blocked both of those extra points.
And like I said, all he's doing is coming off, in terms of the kicking formation, coming off the left side and making a dive for it. Textbook example of how to block a kick.
We'll have some scores from the area to pass along right after this 1st down and 10 play by McKinney. Zach Lee sets up in shotgun formation, looks left side for Lip. That's Dario Jackson. Dario Jackson makes the catch, and he's brought down before he could get out of bounds inside Boyd territory at the 49-yard line. They do stop the clock for a moment, and maybe they'll say he did get out of bounds. Philip Sears in coverage for McKinney Boyd. The clock is stopped at 56 seconds, so apparently Dario Jackson got out of bounds way across the far sideline. There is a flag down, however, and that might be the reason that the clock is stopped. And as you could probably hear by the voice of Ron Post Stadium in the background, Mike Bruck It is holding against the McKinney Lions, and they'll bring that one back. Scores to pass along, Brandon?
Yeah, we've got some starting off in the district. Last score we have from the McKinney North Bulldogs. They lead the Colony 14-0 in the second. Frisco at Little Elm. They actually have a lead in that one. Frisco does 7-6. We've got some more coming up for you in just a moment.
First down and 15 for the McKinney Lions. Moving left to right. Lee in shotgun formation. 2 receivers to either side. He will drop back 3 steps, looks near side. That's Jackson again, and he makes the catch and then drops it at the 49-yard line.
Well, it wouldn't have been an easy catch. He had to reach up to grab that one. It was a little high. I'm not sure if Lee was rushed or not. I was watching the receiver. And all the defender has to do in a situation like that is if you have to jump for it, as soon as he touches the ball, if he can make contact with the receiver, you make that reception a lot more difficult, and that's exactly what happened.
Did you mention the Little Elm Frisco score, 7-6? Okay.
Indeed.
North over the Colony. We got all that?
Yep.
All right. Just paying attention. Here's Lee on the shovel pass to Butler, and McKinney Boyd sniffed it out. And with 38 seconds and rolling, it's Reese Redmond, the nose guard, who was right there, Johnny on the spot. And that'll be a loss of a couple of yards.
Well, shovel pass is intended to work a lot like the screen pass, except it's more in the middle. And what happened there is the defensive line on the outside came through, and what you're supposed to do is block the nose tackle, push the shovel, and then the running back has the chance to go wherever he wanted to. Problem is you actually have to block the nose tackle.
Well, we got the quick kick thing going again. Here's 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Will they just knee it, or will they try the fade route again? 5, 4, 3, shotgun, and wants to throw it. Lee rolls out, wants to throw the Hail Mary. Now he's just going to tuck it. And he's got the 48-yard lines and out of bounds. Must have been a good block because you can hear the crowd.
Matt Lipka, he cleared the sideline for his quarterback. Just no other blockers downfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the first half. The McKinney Lions are on top, 13-12, and a classic here at Ron Post Stadium so far. These 2 sophomore quarterbacks going back and forth.
Boy, Boyd's showing that they're not a first-year school anymore in this one. And they didn't even have games like this in district last year.
What a great game this is shaping up to be. We're going to take a timeout. We'll have the halftime show coming up. And also, we need to tell you about, Chick-fil-A tonight after the game, half-price milkshakes.
And let me tell you.
And this is Chick-fil-A at 380 in Central here in McKinney, so don't be going to,
it's not any
to Plano.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, those are some high-quality milkshakes down that way.
Well, we're about to find out out here.
I've already had, trust me. Not these particular ones, but I've sampled them before.
13-12, McKinney Lions on top of McKinney Boyd. Back in the moment on 97.5 KLAK.
It's not a high-scoring game. It's just that these offenses are controlling the ball.
Well, and to me, it's been very impressive. Both teams have put together really long drives. And I think last week, I think that with what McKinney Boyd was able to do late in that contest against Springtown, they let a lead slip away last week. The game was tied at 36. Then Boyd comes back down, puts together a nice drive, scores the go-ahead touchdown with a little over a minute remaining. They go on, win the game. I think that added confidence to this offensive line, and since then, you've kind of seen a change in their mentality. They pieced together a 14-play and a 13-play drive in the first half. It's hard for professionals to put together 13 and 14-play drives. So to have the patience to grind it out, it's been very impressive. And, of course, you got to give credit to the McKinney Lions as well. Zach Lee and Matt Lipka, man, oh, man, you can't believe they're just sophomores. I mean, it's really impressive to see, like you've pointed out tonight, the chemistry between these two. I mean, Lipka, again, 4 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, and at the same end, on the other side, we've obviously got Jeff Fuller. And, Jeff Fuller, he's a senior, so he's on his way to Oklahoma. But it seems like Allen's starting to develop a relationship to some degree to Cameron Mazur, who's just a junior. So, it's going to be interesting to watch this team develop. And, unfortunately, here on the Chick-fil-A halftime show, we're going to have to talk about something we obviously would like to avoid, and that's the just absolutely horrific injury.
Injury to Nate Hill. It was a very, again, it's these guys suit up knowing that that's part of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that watches, everybody that participates know that's part of the game. John, John, you were down on the sidelines. We talked about it from up here about just how the McKinney line crowd was getting behind Mr. Hill and the way the Boyd crowd was getting behind their own player in Nate Hill. But you were there firsthand, outside of the box, so to speak. Tell us a little bit more about that whole scene down there. How, because I'm sure for you it was a little bit surreal.
Well, I want to bring a positive to this. When they did finally get him and start heading off the field, the Boyd side was screaming, Nate, Nate, Nate. And they brought him past the McKinney Lions sideline, and the whole crowd had stood up and was just cheering. That's the loudest I've heard it all year at this stadium. And that's a positive when you have two McKinney-ized teams that are facing each other. All week they've been, let's beat the other team, let's beat the other team. Now they've come together as one, and they're cheering for the recovery of a McKinney ISD student, which they're a whole big brotherhood in all three put together.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because it's exactly what it is to a brother. We can do whatever we want to you guys, but no one else can. And so when they see one of their own kind of, I mean, that in that situation, that's what I'm saying. I'm squeamish, so just set the record.
And being
so
a past
I don't
player,
like
that really
it.
touches a deep note in anybody who's been a past player to see an injury like that, because he is a senior this year. This is his senior year. Is basically not necessarily gone down the drain, but he's played a couple plays this year, but he would like to have ended it on a good note.
Well, and that's the thing, John, is you talk about it, even if this had been an out-of-city team, obviously the players are going to have respect because this is something that could happen to them, and you do not want to see that.
Every athlete wants to see the season end on their terms.
Absolutely.
And this was a situation where Nate Hill's season, it's ended not on his terms, and that's going to be frustrating for him. But at the same time, like you said, you got to draw the positives out of it, and it was a good scene on the sideline, seeing the two groups get together and backing him.
Well, and John told us something that really kind of amazed me at the halftime. I mean, just how tough Nate Hill was. Not a sound. And you can talk about it. You probably. I'm kind of curious from your perspective, we didn't get into this, what kind of unfolded as the play ended and all of a sudden folks realized there was a guy down?
Well, the scene was there. The referees stopped right there, and they cleared both teams off the field. Everybody took a knee. Everybody got quiet right away because everybody knew the severity of the injury. It was visual. But there was a lot of precautious measures taken also with the past two injuries in the NFL these past 2 weeks between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. So there was a lot of precautionaries.
Sure. Yeah, and that's tough, man. That's real tough.
Well, that sound that you hear in the background, of course, is the Chick-fil-A halftime show coming to an end. Our fearless leader, Monty Walker's already got his post-game show milkshake. By the way, after the game, they are going to be half price at your local Chick-fil-A here in McKinney at $3.80. So be sure to get over there and check that out. We're going to wrap up the Chick-fil-A halftime show. Again, your score at the half is the McKinney Lions 13, the McKinney Boyd Broncos 12 on 97.5 KLAK.
Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium, where we have a 1-point ball game between two McKinney ISD schools. The Lions of McKinney High 13 and the McKinney Boyd Broncos 12. And let me remind you real quick of the tutoring club Scholar Athlete of the Week. It is Kaylin Frink. She's a senior at McKinney Boyd High School on the varsity volleyball team. She excels not only at volleyball but off the court. She's an exceptional student as well. So congratulations to Kaylin Frink, the tutoring club Athlete of the Week. And going back, week 1 was Houston Beasley of McKinney North. Week 2 was Kenesha Nisbet of McKinney High, and then Brady Vaughn of McKinney North. And last week, Kelsey Turman of McKinney Boyd. And this week, Kaylin Frink from McKinney High. So here we go. McKinney's going to be kicking off to McKinney Boyd, moving left to right. A.J. Jones goes back to the 3-yard line, makes the catch on the run, comes up in the middle of the field, has some room at the 30 and down at the 33-yard line. A flag is down. Again, McKinney Boyd will be moving left to right, starting the third quarter here and trailing 13-12 to McKinney High.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what this penalty is on. Obviously, it was a decent return, and it's going to be an illegal block by Boyd. So back up the Broncos. And you know what? Right now, again, we talk about the penalties, but in this situation, Monty, it's just the start of the drive if you're going to commit a penalty. And obviously, I'm not making a proposition that, hey, commit a penalty on the kickoff return, but this is the place to do it rather than a 4th and 1.
Yeah, it'll be 1st and 10 here for McKinney Boyd, and Darren Alves, their sophomore quarterback, will stand up in shotgun formation. Fuller, his favorite wide receiver, is to the near side. Sends a man in motion. That's Robinson. He's going to hand off to him. No, he's going to fake it. Here comes Alves to the near side. He's got the 20 and knocked down a flag down at the 20-yard line. And a minimal gain of about 1. Ryan Hughes on the stop for McKinney. We'll have to check out the flag.
Likely to be a holding, and their legal block in this case. The receiver, Fuller, trying to hold his block and really he was having a hard time doing it, not for anything that he was doing, but because the field was being stretched to his side, and he was holding his block to the sidelines, but that's exactly where his quarterback was running. So that's a tough situation for him. And they're going to take the penalty, Will McKinney, so now you're looking at a 1st and 20.
And McKinney Boyd with 2 straight penalties. So open the second.
7 for 45 yards here tonight.
So 1st down and 19 for McKinney Boyd. Alves, 2-step drop, has to run up the middle, escapes 1 defender, and is knocked down at the 12-yard line. So only about a 3-yard gain. It is Matt Opasanik. I tell you what, I hate to say this name because I know I'm butchering it.
I'm sure he's used to that.
Opazinski. Matt Opazinski.
Did better than I could.
We'll go with that one. But, you look at this, and right now the way these offenses are playing, it's going to be who blinks first that really is put into the grave, and you almost think that penalty that put him at 1st and 19 might do it.
2nd down and 16. A.J. Jones in motion will stand behind Alves now, who's in shotgun. Alves rolling right side in trouble and brought down by Michael Riancho after about a 1 or 2 yard gain, 2-yard gain. So 3rd and 14. And that's not how McKinney Boyd want to open the second half.
No, not at all. And, we sometimes look at it as there's a lot of 3-down territory or 4-down territories with these teams, but you're not going to go for it on 4th regardless of what it is in this part of the field.
McKinney Boyd 3 for 6 on 3rd down conversions tonight.
3rd down and 14. Alves drops back, wants to throw it deep across the middle. Fuller, and it's almost intercepted, and I think Fuller might have taken it away from him, and now they're going to say incomplete. A lot going on up there as McKinney's, well, I would say Andy Martinek, but I think Daniel Brash was the guy in coverage. Or it was Martinek. I should trust Rob Johnson, huh?
Yeah, Brash came through from the safety position, but it was Martinek sticking with him the entire way. I tell you, Martinek's done some solid cover out there on Fuller today in the rare times when Boyd has passed, and now we're actually going to have a punt in this ball game.
I believe the first punt
of the night.
Here's Yarborough. Will stand at his own 3-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 15. And he takes a long time to get that off, and it's almost blocked. Partially is blocked. And McKinney was blocked.
They are struggling in the kicking game. Because actually, now that I think about it, there was a punt before, but it was negated with a face mask penalty, but the snap wasn't there. Yarborough had it down. We've had 2 extra points blocked, and now the only punt block they've attempted that's in the record, that was blocked.
Josh Erickson blocked the punt, and McKinney is going to have the ball at the McKinney Boyd 3-yard line.
Well, the Broncos blinked.
Wow. That is 3 times tonight that McKinney has blocked a kick, either punt or extra point of McKinney Boyd.
Well, there's what Coach had told me. If you can win in 2 of the 3, offense, defense, and special teams, you're going to win. And right now, special teams clearly going in favor of McKinney.
That's a huge play for the McKinney High Lions. And Zach Lee's going to run the quarterback keeper up the middle, but he's not going to make it. He's only going to gain about 1 yard, maybe, as Ryan Garrett, the linebacker by McKinney Boyd, makes a stop up the middle. It'll be 2nd down and goal from about the 3-yard line, maybe the 2-yard line, 2.5.
Well, you talk about Boyd wanting to have that sequence back and not how they envisioned starting it. You're not lying. They had a penalty, macked him to 1st and 19, ran a couple plays that were well defended by the Lions. Then a pass that was almost complete wasn't, and then a blocked punt.
Lipka looks to the Boyd sideline, tries to get them on their feet. He doesn't know where he's at. Shotgun for Zach Lee. Under pressure, hands off Butler up the middle, and Butler fighting his way towards the end zone, but not going to make it. I think he makes his way down to about the 1, so it'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. Reese Redmond makes the stop. That was interesting to see. You know, these guys play at the same home field. Lipka rolls out as he runs out far side left, split out wide left, looks at the McKinney Boyd crowd and does the wave in his arm, get up off your seat. But he was pointing to the wrong bench.
Well, the thing is when you're on offense, you don't want the crowd to get excited. You can miss signals and things like that. So, in a way, he was actually telling the Boyd fans to do what they should be doing.
Dario Jackson split out wide right. Lipka split out wide left. Handoff. Butler up the middle. Stuffed. And it's going to be 4th down and goal. A nice stand by McKinney Boyd. Hey, you got to tip your hat to the Broncos.
Absolutely.
And it's Keith Owens up front, the defensive end for the Broncos of McKinney Boyd, who makes a stop there. Now it's 4th and goal from the 2.
And this is a perfect example, though, of how the McKinney Lions running game has struggled this season. Have it at the 3-yard line, and they've 4th down tonight. They are 2 for 2, but still yet they have struggled running the ball all season.
Whoa,
It'll be interesting to see the ball here.
Listen to this crowd at Ron Poe Stadium. 4th down and 2, and McKinney Lions are going to go for it. Anthony Butler in the backfield along with Zach Lee in shotgun formation, moving left to right. Lee wants to roll out right. Under pressure, he's sacked back at the 18-yard line. What a stand by McKinney Boyd, and now a late flag. There's going to be a personal foul infraction, and
Jamel Minor, for some reason.
Now there's 2 more flags coming in near the Boyd Broncos. Zach Lee said something initially, and then it was his lineman, John Summer, had to race in and grab Zach and take him toward the sidelines. And when he did, only Boyd Broncos were left on the field in that area, and that's when 2 more flags went flying.
Well, it's all started with Jamel Minor. Zach Lee is sacked. Obviously a great thing. Down to the 20. And for some reason, when Zach gets up, in comes Jamel Minor. I don't know if he was celebrating and thought it was the wrong teammate, but gave him a little extra solid pop that you definitely don't give to the other team. Easily a penalty in that situation. And then you've got extracurriculars, because obviously Zach Lee doesn't like when that happens, so he's going to get involved, which gets other people involved. And it all happened because I think that Jamel Minor was celebrating.
Let's check down with John Leidy, who probably had a really good look at this. And I know John's on a delay, so hang with us. It might take a second, but let's try to sort this out with John Leidy.
Guys, there was actually a personal foul on Jamal Minor. He jumped up in the air in celebration. When he came down, he ran into quarterback for the McKinney Lions, and then there's going to be a personal foul on McKinney Lions because the offensive line was actually in the middle of that group of Boyd Broncos, and I don't know if he threw a punch or something like that or what happened. He was in the middle, so I'm not really sure what happened there. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Trying to sort these out. Hopefully punches aren't being thrown out there.
Here's what happened, because we got obviously the personal foul, unnecessary roughness, but the penalties that followed were unsportsmanlike conducts, because there wasn't anything exchanged in physical, but words can get you in unsportsmanlike conduct.
So much for all of us being brothers, huh?
Well, that's a good point.
8:01 left to go in the 3rd quarter, and McKinney is leading 13-12. McKinney Boyd will have the ball now at their own 24-yard line.
Well, and when you talk about siblings, again, it goes back to the, hey, I can do whatever I want to you, but no one else can. So, this is one big happy family out here. 22 members to this family on the field right now.
Oh, they're still sorting it out down there on the field. I mean, the official was making so many arm motions. I thought they might have started at YMCA or something.
They're all dead ball fouls, and so apparently what's going to happen is all the penalties will offset each other, even though Boyd had one extra 15-yarder in there.
So many arms waving around, look like Pete Townsend. 1st and 10 for McKinney Boyd. Alves is going to run it around the right side. Cuts it inside to the 25 and down at the 27-yard line, a gain of about 3. Jamario Mack on the stop for the McKinney Lions.
Well, Monty, in thinking about this, I said Boyd blinked. Well, obviously now that McKinney blinked, it makes you wonder, going back, the reason they blinked was the rushing game. How would they like to have A.J. Jones right now? He's at least a decent to good runner.
Nate Hill?
That Nate Hill, yeah, exactly.
Here's A.J. Jones, who'll go in motion and stand behind Alves, and he'll get the handoff, and he runs up the middle, turns around, spins out of one tackle down at the 34-yard line, shy of a first down. Whoa, the line judge gave him a really good spot on the far side, but the near side gives him probably the more accurate spot. However, they're going to go ahead and move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10 for McKinney Boyd as Dominique Gardner makes the stop for the McKinney Lions.
Near side's the one that matters because he had the spot of the ball. That was a great option play. Alves reading the defensive end there. He was going toward Alves, so he gave the ball to Jones.
Can you believe after that block punt, nothing?
No kidding.
Here is Alves and shotgun, handoff. That's Monterio and a big move up the middle. Look out, 50, dragging 2 men down to the 40-yard line. Montarius Pittman, who came into the game with 6 carries and 14 yards, equals all of that on this one carry.
Well, and again, you hate to say it, but the Nate Hill injury gives him a little bit of a chance to play in the ball game, and he shows how he's a good runner.
Dominique Gardner makes the stop for McKinney. You talk about somebody as quick as Alves, and Montarius Pittman is, or he showed that. Here's Alves in a great fake, runs up the middle to the 35, bumps into one defender, and finally 3 or 4 McKinney Lions bring him down. Dominique Gardner again, along with Mitch Mecklenar, make the stop on about a 5-yard gain for the McKinney Boyd Broncos, moving right to left, still trailing 13-12 with 6:28 left to go in the third quarter.
Pittman may have some speed, but he definitely doesn't have the elusiveness as Alves there. As that guy can do a 360 in 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, Pittman has the pure speed.
Yeah.
We have seen that. Here's Robinson, who will be in the backfield now, and he'll get the handoff and running left tackle. He's got the 30. Look out to the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Another first down for the McKinney Boyd Broncos. And
whole host there on the tackle.
I'll tell you what.
Well, right now, the Boyd Broncos offensive line is just shredding. Literally shredding right now the interior. We've seen 3-4 runs now that have been basically up the middle that have gone for big gains.
First down and 10 for Alves. Sends Robinson in motion across the middle. Is going to hand off to him going across the field. And he's got the 20 inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. And Jordan Kilwine makes the stop.
And that's what I was about to say. I mean, this is the McKinney Lions' worst nightmare right now. They're getting ran on, and it is they have been able to contain Darren Alves. Alves, 15 carries, 50 yards, nowhere near his 8-yard per carry average, but it's the other Broncos that are stepping up and just running it all over that line defense.
Far different cry from their first drive of the half.
Second down and 6 for McKinney Boyd. Pittman goes in motion. He'll stand beside Alves. They'll fake the hand to him. Here goes Alves, right tackle, spinning away down to the 15-yard line, shy of the first down by a couple. It'll be Manuel Chavarria on the stop for the McKinney Lions. What a game this is turning in to be. 3rd and 2.
I don't know if I have any energy at the end of the game the way this one's going.
I don't think there's any way. Maybe another Chick-fil-A milkshake might do the trick.
Well, it is half price,
yeah.
I know where we're going after the game. Here's A.J. Jones in motion. He's going to get the hand. And he's dragging a defender. It breaks away from him to the 15. It's going to be close to the first down, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. And that's going to be tremendously close to the first down. Ryan Hughes makes the stop for McKinney. We'll see if they even pull the chains, and I think it's going to be 4th down and short.
Yeah.
And it is. 4th and 1.
What happened there is they ran the same option play. The defensive end went upfield, and that's where Alves generally hands it off, but the defensive end was ready for the give on the option.
Here comes the full house backfield set. A.J. Jones checks out. Jamel Minor checks in. Alves and Pittman in the backfield along with Minor. 4th and 1. Handoff. Alves actually keeps it. And he runs up to the right guard, pushes his way, I believe, for a first down. Daniel Brash, the safety, makes the stop for McKinney. This one's going to be pretty close. And McKinney Boyd pointing towards that south end. They're going to bring out the chain. So let's check down with John Leidy and see what John has. He's right there on the spot. John, go ahead.
Guys, this is actually very close, and depending on where the spot is, it appears to me that it will be a first down by the nose of the football. Back up to y'all.
All right, we'll see just how close John Leidy is. And nose of the football, it is.
Well, it was so close. Some of the McKinney defenders thought Alves didn't get the first down there, but, all you got to do is swipe that credit card right down the edge of the pole to see if you get it. That's all you need to do, and they did.
Well, and, McKinney Boyd, going into that fourth down conversion, they were 2 of 2 tonight, make them 3 of 3. They've had success in those fourth and short situations.
1st and 10 for McKinney Boyd, right to left at the McKinney 13-yard line. Alves, left tackle, rolling outside. Being chased, 10, down to the 5, cutting the corner towards the end zone, and he's out of bounds at the 4-yard line. He was trying to dive for that pylon, just like you see in the NFL, but apparently the official said that he stepped out. Dominic Gardner makes the stop, or gets the credit for making the stop. I'm not so sure he ever stepped out.
Yeah, I had it on the binocular view. He literally vaulted with his left foot off the 4-yard line there on the out of bounds marker, and it was wasn't that much.
So if he vaults out at the 4,
well, his left foot was on the out of bounds. Sorry.
Alves is going to run around left tackle to the 5 and down at the 4-yard line, and that is going to be enough for a first down, I believe. Oh, it's going to be another close first down. Ryan Hughes on the stop. Again, like you said, this is a good place to have that short first down marker inside the 5, because it's going to be third down and a yard here to get a first down, and they're inside the 5-yard line at the 4.
Yeah, that's the great thing about having the ability to have an elusive runner, because all you need is a yard, basically 2 downs to get it, and if you get the first, another 4.
Full house backfield again. Miner and Pittman along with Alves. Alves in shotgun, gets it, right tackle. Again, it's touchdown time in Texas. Darren Alves from 4 yards out not only gets the first down, but gets the touchdown.
I wonder if that sophomore can dance. He's got moves on the field. Maybe put him on Dancing with the Stars or something along those lines, see how he can do. Although, for the record, I don't watch that show, so I don't know if it worked or not. But,
you just gave it away.
A little admission there.
Well, yeah, the hole wasn't right where it was supposed to be, but you wouldn't know that because all of a sudden he's able to move to the right.
Going for 2. Alves in shotgun, full house backfield, rolling out right. He wants to keep it, and he's got it. A 2-point conversion for Darren Alves. What more can you do, son?
Well, I think that's a good call. The kicking game hasn't been very good at all.
20-13. McKinney Boyd with a touchdown lead with 3:02 left to go in the third. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
12 plays, 4 minutes and 59 seconds off the clock. A 74-yard drive for the Broncos, capped off by a 3-yard Darren Alves touchdown run, his second touchdown run of the evening.
American Bank, the key to your dreams. Not only we mentioned the freshman game last year between Lipka and Alves. We didn't mention that Alves also ran for 4 2-point conversions during that game.
Golly.
20-13. McKinney Boyd leaves. Here's the kickoff, and it's going to be taken by Ty Gerald at the 21-yard line. Running from left to right, comes up the far hash. Now tripped up at the 29-yard line. Another flag down, another holding call. Jacob Sigler from McKinney Boyd makes the stop. We'll check these flags and see what's going on there. 2:54 left to go in the third quarter. McKinney Boyd leading the McKinney Lions 20-13. And wow, how we've come a long way in 364 days.
Well, yeah, no kidding about that. Right now on the field, the penalty is worse than you were hoping for it to be. It's an illegal chop block.
Ew.
Yeah, so that'll bring the ball back quite a bit. Real quick, I just want to say, and for folks who generally follow the McKinney football here on the radio, generally I'm not a big fan of going for it in 2 unless it's absolutely needed. But the way that special teams has been blocking for the kicking game, you almost have to. And it's not the kicker's fault even. They just haven't been able to get a kickoff.
Scores from up north. Ryder at the Voodoo Palace leading Sherman 28-0. And Denison on top of Denton Geyer 24-14 at Munson Stadium in Denison. This is going to be Lee on the handoff up the middle, and a nice gain of about 5 yards by Reggie Robinson. Maybe a gain of 4, I should say, on first down. It'll be second down and 6.
And this is really where McKinney is going to have to try to answer because, like I said, Boyd started off blinking, and then McKinney getting a gift, 1st and goal, to start your drive at the 3-yard line and got held up on 4 downs.
2 minutes and 26 seconds left to go before the fourth quarter. 3 receivers to the near side. Handoff, Butler up the middle. That's Robinson again. Look out to the 35 and down right there. For a moment, he had a big burst, and it was enough to get the first down, but he was stopped at the 35-yard line by Parker Bolinas from McKinney Boyd.
Yeah, nice job in the secondary for the Broncos, not allowing that to turn, obviously, to big gain, double digits, automatic, or not automatic, but it is a first down. Could have been a lot more if the secondary had been out of position.
Well, you know, McKinney Lion fans right now have to be going, where was that a while ago when we were 3 yards out of the end zone?
Well, it's a little different defense, too.
Yeah.
Farley, Benson, and Jackson to the near side. Hands off, Reggie Robinson, and he's going to gain about 1. Justin Cordova makes a stop for McKinney Boyd.
Yeah, and to expand on that point, Jay, you'll find that if you can't run, you're going to have a hard time in goal-to-go situations running the ball because there's so much less territory that the defense is able to play a little bit more compact, and you're not going to find the open space to run. You look at the field, the safeties for the Broncos are 10 yards off the ball. They're not going to be that far off in goal-to-go situation.
Brandon's favorite player, Brett Helt, checks into the game in the backfield for the McKinney Lions on 2nd down and 9. 2 receivers to either side. Lee wants to throw, rolls out right side. Still rolling, throwing, and it's caught by Jackson for a moment, and then it flies out of his hands and incomplete at the 48-yard line. So Lamar Peoples had pretty good coverage there, but I thought Jackson was going to make a miraculous catch there for a second.
Yeah, what happened is Jackson went up, and he had it with both hands, and you have to give credit to Peoples. What he did, he didn't go for a tackle. What he did is he grabbed one of the hands and pulled it down. And when you do that, unless you've got stick-em or the ability to just grab onto the ball with a hand, it's going to be dropped. Very well defended.
3rd down and 9, and look for Lipka, who split out wide left. Moving left to right, the McKinney Lions. Lee in shotgun, 2 receivers to the near side. Rolls out, looks Lipka's way, throws it down the field, and it's a little bit short and incomplete. Parker Bolinas in coverage, and it'll be 4th down and punt time for the McKinney Lions. And all of a sudden, what has happened to the McKinney Lions?
Well, Zach Lee right there missed on his last 2 passes, and he skipped short of Lipka, and at the same time overthrew Mack just a little bit. But I got to wonder, where was Lipka on the goal-to-go situation? That's a situation where you basically don't play to your strength.
C.J. Gonzalez takes the high snap, is going to punt it away from his own 25-yard line. It'll take a bounce at the McKinney Boyd 35. Running up and faking like he's going to pick it up is Philip Sears from McKinney Boyd. And, we're talking what has happened to the McKinney Lions, and Jay has some numbers on Zach Lee.
Well, Zach has really struggled. At the end of the first half, his last pass was an incomplete. His last 3 passing attempts for this game have been incomplete passes. Overall, 9 of 13 for 98 yards. But I think a lot of it is Coach Bobby Ray's. He's really kind of pulled in the reins on this one, trying to run the football, and so far they haven't been able to run the football on this Boyd defense.
Well, they haven't been able to. They tried on that drive quite a bit, but still weren't able to. Here's a man in motion, and that's Mazer, who will stand behind Alves, and Alves is going to keep it and gain about 3-4 yards. And I'm telling you, Alves was finally tackled by Mitch McLenard, but he's 5'6", maybe $150, $160. We don't have the official weights on these guys just yet, but he plays like a 300-pound running back who can move and shift and, Brian Westbrook type guy.
Yeah, and on that last play, what they do is he's in the backfield by himself. Mazer goes to the up-back position and acts as the lead blocker for him.
There's Robinson in motion for McKinney Boyd. We're going to fake the hand to him, and a great fake by Alves, who dances and jives his way down to the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for McKinney Boyd. Jordan Kilwine makes the stop, and you've got to be impressed as the 3rd quarter is about to expire. You've got to be impressed with how the McKinney Boyd Broncos just rely on this sophomore kid. They keep going to the well, and he keeps coming through.
You got to be impressed that he does keep coming through as a sophomore.
That is going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. And when we come back, it'll be 4th quarter time in Texas. It is 20-13. Hold on, folks. Hang on. Listen. It's the McKinney Boyd Broncos leading Old McKinney High. 20-13. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Ty Gaddy split out wide right for McKinney Boyd. Now moving left to right. Alves wants to throw, and he throws it, and it's caught, and a good thing it was, because it was going to be intercepted if it wasn't, but it was caught over there by Mazer again, and it was a high throw. Mazer had to go up for it and make a pretty good catch to bring it down, but if he weren't able to go up that high and get it, waiting in the wings was a McKinney Lions.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. You know, we mentioned the two sophomores for McKinney, the quarterback receiver. Mazer's starting to become one of the favored targets of Alves here because of his safety valve ability.
First down and 10. On the handoff goes Joseph Robinson nuts. A.J. Jones spinning his way out of a couple of tackles. A flag down, but Jordan Kilwine makes a stop. And A.J. Jones, a nice run there of about 10 yards on first down, but we'll have to check the flag and see.
Yeah, it's going to go 10 yards the other way. Coming out and blocking out of the backfield for the Broncos was Joseph Robinson. And they're going to move it back 10 yards, so instead of being a 10-yard gain, it's going to be a 10-yard loss. Now remember, it was a 10-yard penalty that ultimately stalled the first drive of the half for the Broncos. And this is a similar situation. It's going to be a 1st and 20.
In the fourth quarter has not been McKinney Boyd's favorite quarter. They've given up 34 points so far in their 3 games in the fourth quarter. By far their worst. But they've also scored 28. Here's Alves. Drops back, throws, looking for Fuller, who's open, got a man, and he overshoots him by about a yard. Fuller had to dive for it. He got great separation over there from Prescott and Mack, but the ball was just overthrown.
And he got separation with a little contact there on the far sidelines as well. And if there's not a little tug there, we may be putting 6 points on the board for the Broncos.
So you're saying that might be a little Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders going on
over
there?
A little something over there on that far sideline, so long as it don't elevate to a Dante Hall status.
11-19 left to go in the football game. McKinney Boyd up 20-13. Second down and 19 for Boyd. This is going to be a handoff up the middle, and that's A.J. Jones again, and he's close to a first down at the midfield stripe. They're not close enough, about 5 yards away. Andy Martinick makes the stop for the McKinney Lions. A.J. Jones, he's been a durable ball carrier for the past several years here.
Yeah, and I'm starting to notice a trend, he is rather, not me. The trend is that they bring an A.J. Jones or a Robinson into the backfield. They're running that option style play. If they bring Cam and Mazer in, it's an Alves run on his own. Because right now he's back in the backfield by himself. Somebody's coming to join him.
Zach Jones in motion will stand behind Alves. Alves wants to run the option to the left, and he's going to keep it. Makes a cut up the middle, makes a couple of men miss, and has the first down at the 44-yard line. This kid is spectacular. Joseph Blaquier makes the stop for McKinney.
Monty, when you were going through high school, didn't the defensive coaches tell you on how to make a tackle? Look at the guy's belt buckle
or the numbers.
Yeah. Can you do that with this kid? I mean,
put your nose in the numbers.
It's like his upper body's going a different direction than his lower body, and then a split second it's going the other way.
If you try to do that, you can't tell what number he wears. First down and 10 for Alves and McKinney Boyd. Shotgun, handoff. A.J. Jones up the middle, big hole for a moment. Spins out of a couple of tackles for a 10-yard gain up to the 33-yard line. 10:06 left to go in this game. And McKinney Boyd look like they're trying to take over. They look like a bunch of kids who know how to win a football game. Hey, all of a sudden they win 2 games and they think they're world beaters. And tonight they're trying to be.
And this is the point that Jay brought up earlier, that if the roles are reversed, McKinney's not doing this. They don't have the run game to control the ball, whereas on the other end, Boyd's perfectly suited to do this.
Second down and 1. He didn't get enough for the first down. Zach Jones goes in motion behind Alves. Alves hands off Jones. Another big hole up the middle, 30. He's keeping his feet moving to the 25-yard line, just outside of the 25-yard line. It is enough for the first, obviously, before Daniel Brash, the safety, makes a stop. So 9:26 left to go, and what a drive this is by McKinney Boyd so far.
9th play coming up, Monty, and this drive started at the 28-yard line, and now they're inside the 30 and looking to put a score here. Boy.
Well, I'll give you McKinney Boyd's drives after a moment. Here's Alves wanting to throw. Throws it down the middle again, and wide open in the end zone is A.J. Jones, and it's incomplete. It would have been a nice catch. It was a little overthrown, but he couldn't haul it in. Joseph Laquire was in coverage, but he was not in coverage because A.J. Jones was the only man out there.
Well, and that was a great call because right now McKinney's expecting a run, so why not on 1st and 10 just go ahead and loft a pass?
Hey, the drives by McKinney Boyd, 13 for 75, 14 for 72, 12 for 74, and here we are again with their 10th play here. 2nd down and 10, Alves in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right side. He's going to fake the hand and roll up the middle and gain about his normal 5 yards up to about the 21-yard line. In this game, it's a normal 5 yards. In any other game, it's like 10. Here's Landon Lyle on the stop for the McKinney Lions.
Well, and they're kind of an off-the-ball situation. Jamariel Mack, the defensive tackle nose guard, lost his shoe for the 2nd time tonight. And if you're losing your shoe, that generally means you're getting blocked up at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down coming up, Monty, and with that, the Boyd Broncos tonight, they are 3 of 3 here in the second half. 3rd down conversions.
3rd down and 5, 8:29 to go in the game. McKinney Boyd up by 7. Fuller has the ball thrown to him, and it's incomplete. Nice coverage by Prescott Mack out there on that left side, and it'll bring up 4th down and 5, a long 5. Again, McKinney Boyd moving left to right at the McKinney 21-yard line.
I like the call of passing on 1st down. But the way you're running the ball, you almost think that you should keep running the ball until they make you stop.
Fourth down and 5. McKinney Boyd, well, they're going to go for it. Zach Jones goes in motion. He's going to stand a little bit behind Alves. Alves rolls out right. Left-handed quarterback throws it, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. It's intercepted by Martin Eck, who makes his way up to the 23-yard line. You know, it's pretty tough for a left-handed quarterback to roll right and throw left. And that's what happens. Martin Eck made the pick.
Well, and again, if you keep running the ball there on 3rd down, who knows what the situation looks like. But on 4th and 5, you know, I mean, that's a tough call because it's almost too far to run, but you've had success running that right there. So what they did is they ran a little out pattern with the 2 receivers on the right side and had Alves roll out to that right side, and he ended up just missing.
There's McKinney, who will take over now. Lee wants to throw, and he throws out to Lipka on a screen pass and maybe a gain of 1. Nice coverage by Lamar Peoples. And also Cameron Mazer out there. It'll be 2nd down and 9. What a drive that was, but ended up for no points or nothing.
12 plays and 51 yards. And you know, the thing on that, though, the decision to throw, man, Alves has been struggling. His last 4 throws, including that interception, have been incomplete. His timing with Fuller has not been good on that last drive. And, man, on 4th and 5, I mean, I understand you got to throw the ball to get the 1st down pretty much, but, man,
and you obviously don't trust the kicking game at this point either.
2nd down and 9 for the McKinney Lions. Lee drops back looking like he's going to set up the screen. Now he has to run, and Reese Redmond says, nope, gotcha. At the 21-yard line, it'll be 3rd down and 10 after about a 1-yard loss, maybe a 2. And they will call it a 2-yard loss. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
And that's the 2nd time Redmond's got to him tonight. You go back to that the last time the McKinney Lions had the football down inside, deep inside Boyd territory, he had the sack that drove him out of the 20.
And this Boyd defense is just getting better as the game's wearing on.
Reese Redmond, his 2nd sack of the night, his 2nd sack of the season. He came in with none. 6:52 and rolling here in the 4th. McKinney trying to make something happen. They're down by 7, 20-13. Lee, 2-step drop. Now he's having to be pressured out. Almost sacked and now is. Back at the 16-yard line. Ball comes out. McKinney fights for it. And they're going to say Lee was down.
And guess who's in on the sack?
It's Reese Redmond again. And I think Reese Redmond could be our Torchmark Corporation star of the game.
Well, yeah, because right now the way this offense was playing, he's basically been a microcosm of how the defense for the Broncos have played. They have yet to give up a point in this half.
So, down there, John Leidy, you might have to pick out number 70 after the game.
He's that big guy playing in the middle.
Yeah, you really can't miss him, John. Even you. No, I'm kidding.
C.J. Gonzalez will come on to punt, stands a yard or 2 deep in his own end zone. And he gets the punt away. It's a high, wobbly kick. Philip Sears back to return it, but he gets away from it. And it's going to take a good McKinney Boyd bounce up to the 33-yard line.
Did you see Lamar Peoples on that punt? That ball took an odd bounce, came right back at him. He dove on the ground to avoid getting hit by the football. And, of course, could have touched him. It might have been McKinney line football.
Yeah, and right now, if you're the defense, you got to be wondering what's going on. You barely got a breather, and now you're back out at it again trying to stop what's been an awesome running game.
And McKinney Boyd has the ball deep in McKinney territory. Pittman goes in motion. He'll stand behind Alves. Alves is going to hand to Pittman, bursts up the middle to the 25 and down at the 20. Well, not down yet. Now finally dragged down. He gets forward progress to the 23-yard line, a 9-yard gain on first down with 5:40 left to go in the game. Josh Erickson makes the stop. McKinney Boyd leading 20-13. And what a great game this has been for the program of McKinney Boyd.
Well, and it's been a great game to watch, too. And, there's still a lot left to be played here in this one with 5.5 left to go. But, you know what? Pittman reminds me of a track star. He's got that kind of run, and he's got the speed. I'm fairly certain he's on the track team. If not, he should be.
He's very fast. Here's A.J. Jones, who'll come in motion from the left side. He'll stop behind Alves, and he'll get the handoff. Running right tackle. He's got the 20, cuts it up, makes a man miss. And down at the 15-yard line has a first down. And Boyd, here they go again. Jamario Mack on the stop for the McKinney Lions. The chains are moving. Every time you look up, McKinney Boyd has the chains moving.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting, we talked about 5 yards at a clip. Now it seems like they're getting 9 to 10 yards at a clip. And you got to wonder if this defense for the Lions just isn't getting worn down because they've been out there so long this half.
17 first downs here in the contest for McKinney Boyd, and a majority of that on the ground.
Yeah.
Alves in shotgun at the McKinney 15-yard line. He wants to run to the right side, cuts it up inside, down to the 10, about a 4.5-yard gain on first down. Ryan Hughes makes a stop, the linebacker for the McKinney Lions. We're under 4.5 minutes now in the game, and McKinney Boyd is starting to just chew up all of this clock, leading by 1 touchdown, 20-13.
Well, once again, Cameron Mazer in the ace position joins Alves in the backfield and acts as a lead blocker for him. I mean, they're not running a complicated offense. They're just executing really, really well.
Alves sends Pittman in motion, and he'll stand behind him. And he's going to get the carry. Running up the middle, to the 5, to the 1. Is he in? It is touchdown time in Texas. McKinney Boyd makes a statement. 26-13 awaiting the PAT.
Yeah, you almost got the sense that if McKinney didn't do something on their last offensive drive, they were going to be put in a desperate situation at the end just by the way the Bronco offense has been playing. And it turns out that that's true.
The extra point, can they get one through? And it is. It is true. Cody Sieber and company, along with Travis Yarborough, who actually boots it through. So it's 27-13 with 3:57 left to go. McKinney, you're going to have to dig in if you want to come back on this one. Back in a moment. 97.5 KLAK. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive? Hang on a minute. Let's kick this one off first. It's going to be taken by Ty Gerald at the 19-yard line. On the far side, coming up near side. Runs all the way across the field, just like a moment ago. Makes his way up to the 36 and tackled and actually pushed out of bounds by about 5 or 6 McKinney Boyd Broncos. Jay, go ahead and give us that American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap.
4 plays, 32 yards, an 11-yard touchdown run by Montarius Pittman. And the biggest thing here for the Boyd Broncos, a minute 55 ran off the clock, only 3:40 remaining in this one. And what a win would it be for this program?
3:40 left to go in the game, and McKinney Boyd leading McKinney High 27-13. McKinney has the ball, and don't forget Zach Lee and Lipka. Lee will stand in shotgun formation at his own 31-yard lines. He's going to drop back 3 steps, looks over to the right side, and that's Benson who makes the catch at the 42-yard line, so about a 5-yard gain on first down. We'll keep the clock rolling and bring up 2nd down and 5. Cameron Mazer on the stop. That's another guy for McKinney Boyd who could be our player of the game down there, John. Look for number 26, Cameron Mazer, if the Boyd Broncos do indeed hang on. 2nd down and 5 with 3:09 left to go. Lee drops back 2 steps, looking left, throwing, and it is intercepted by Mazer at the 40, 35, 30, 25, and the ball's knocked loose, but he has possession. And McKinney Boyd will take over at the 27-yard line, and another statement has been made.
Well, you can now make a case for Mazer being one of your players of the game. He's caught a touchdown. He's been a lead blocker for Alves, and now he makes for all intents and purposes, a game-sealing interception.
Hey, and a great 23-yard return, boys, to get it down the sideline. I mean, 2:59 remaining. The Boyd Broncos are in a position right now to run this thing out.
Well, I just had mentioned that Mazer might be one of our players of the game, and then he intercepts a pass.
Well, I think that's his nomination.
I think that's fate, Monty. Let's go ahead and do it right there.
Oh, man in motion. That's Joseph Robinson. And a high snap. Robinson's going to get the carry up the middle, burst through for about 8 yards to the 19-yard line, maybe 9 yards on first down. Daniel Brash makes the stop for McKinney, but I tell you what, too little too late for the McKinney Lions. Hey, McKinney Boyd has owned the second half.
No, there's no question about it. Dominated, really, it might be a better way to say it.
It tells in the stats, 3rd down conversions. I mean, the Boyd Broncos, 3 of 4 in this half. As for the McKinney Lions, 0 for 3 in this half on 3rd down conversions. I mean, that's been the story of this second half. It's been all Broncos.
2nd down and 2. Robinson again in motion. And again, he'll get the carry running right tackle. He has the first down inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Daniel Brash, another tackle. But look over there at the chain gang. They're getting a workout now.
Well, and Monty, what's really telling is the time's ticking down. This is only the 4th possession on offense for the Broncos. That's how dominant they've been and how long they've held the ball.
You know, you talk about their head coach, Don Drake, who was the offensive coordinator at McKinney North for so long. And obviously McKinney North known for their offense, and Boyd coming known for their offense as well. Here's Zach Jones running left guard, and he's stuffed. A nice play by the Gold to bring him down. That Gold was led by Mitch McLenar, and it's going to be a loss of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 11 with $1:41 left to go in the game.
Well, you give credit to Drake and his offense, but, you know, this defense has been a heck of an amazing sight to watch here in the second half. I mean, you know, McKinney is not a bad offense by any stretch. They've just been outplayed.
You know, talking about North, you see what's happened since Kenny Duck got over there.
Yep.
Here's Alves again rolling out to the left side, makes one man miss, and gains about 1 yard. But we were saying Kenny Duck has made the tremendous adjustment with the McKinney North defense and has had them on a roll over there since he got there. And you can say the same about Gary Smith here at McKinney Boyd. They're going to take a timeout on the field. We'll take 1, 2. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 3rd down and 9. Alves in trouble behind the backfield, rolling out and throws it out of bounds and incomplete. It'll be 4th down, a flag down. And lots of people from McKinney Boyd over there on the far sideline and the bleachers, lots of them leaving.
Yeah, I'm about to and head to Chick-fil-A for those half-price milkshakes.
Oh, yeah.
Getting their victory shake on.
Of course, it should be noted.
You know what? They may be just leaving the stands and getting ready to come out on the field.
Well, I was about to say, the announcer said don't get on the field after the game, so they're thinking the same thing too. It's kind of odd, though, going back to the actual action. The flag was thrown by the line judge on the near side for the play that happened on the far side, and the referee signals that it is an illegal man downfield, and so they declined it. We're looking at a 4th and 9 for the Broncos.
Do you think that far crowd will erupt in 1 minute and 8 seconds?
I guarantee you they're not listening to the announcer. I'll tell you that right now. They'll be on the field. Have fun, John.
Can you imagine a second-year program knocking off old McKinney High?
Well, North did it only their 3rd attempt.
Shotgun, handoff up the middle, and that's Pittman again. Nope, that's Robinson, and he's in for the touchdown. Another statement made by McKinney Boyd.
Insult to injury right there.
Yeah, that really is.
33-13. McKinney Boyd over McKinney.
Well, and a coach one time told me you don't run up the score on the team, on the opponent. They let you do it. And really, the 4th and 9, they're really tired. They've been on this defense has probably been on the field for a total of 20 of the 28 minutes or 24 minutes.
Yarborough on for the extra point, and it is good. 34-13. It looks a lot worse than it actually has been, but McKinney Boyd leads here at Ron Post Stadium with 1:03 left to go. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 63 delicious seconds await the McKinney Boyd Broncos in their 3rd ever victory, and it comes against Big Brother, the McKinney Lions. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
5 plays, 27 yards, capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run, of course, by Mr. Robinson. And with that, the McKinney Boyd Broncos all over the McKinney Lions.
You know, I don't think the offensive line can go past the line of scrimmage, and on that little quail, they did.
The official saw where one of the Boyd Broncos went over the line as they faked the kickoff, but they said, there's only 1:03 left.
Maybe.
Is this an onside kick?
I think it may have just hit. I don't think they'd be onside kicking it here.
At the 43-yard line, what looks like an onside
Actually,
kick.
it was a squib kick that was hit at the one of the front linemen's knocked his hand out, prevented it from being a squib. Actually, a decent play for one of the upmen.
Well, it was down by McKinney at the 43-yard line. Moving right to left will be McKinney with Zach Lee coming out with only a second ticked off right there. It's 1:02 left to go in the football game. And again, McKinney trailing 34-13.
And I will say, stranger things have happened.
Well, here's Lee in trouble, and he throws down the middle, and it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Jackson across the middle. It would have been enough for the first, but would have kept the clock rolling as he was right in the middle of the field.
And Lee's struggles continue now. That's 6 straight incompletions. Brandon, you brought up a while ago, time of possession in this second half. The McKinney Boyd Broncos, 16 minutes and 22 seconds of clock ate up in this half alone.
Yeah, and there's a minute left, so, that tells you the big disparity of a possible 24 minutes.
You know, John, I want you to ask Coach Drake if this is a statement when you get to talk to Coach Drake after the game. Here's Lee, drops back 2 steps, looks left, has Lipka, and that shows you how this game has gone. Lipka, a sure-handed receiver, had the ball go through his hands, hit his face mask, and fall to the turf.
Well, I saw him turn his eyes off the ball, looking to run.
In coverage was Parker Bolinas. And tell you what, Parker Bolinas has done a great job tonight.
The entire secondary, really. Because they've been playing on their side. It's been Parker and Lamar Peoples, who both had Lipka, and we haven't heard a peep out of him here in the half.
Zach Lee, 2-step drop, looks right. And Peoples is in coverage over Dario Jackson, and Jackson could not make the catch. So 4th down and 10, and 48 seconds remain on the clock. And if they don't get 10 yards here, Boyd gets the ball back, and that'll be the end of the game.
The Lions 1 of 7 tonight on 3rd down.
Wow.
And 0 for here in the second half.
That tells you a lot about the secondary for McKinney Boyd, and it tells you a lot about Reese Redmond and company up front. Justin Cordova and Keith Owens up front for McKinney Boyd. What a game they've had. Glenn Schumann also. Lee drops back, throws, and Jackson has it for a moment, but Peoples hits him and knocks it incomplete, and McKinney Boyd has the ball back. Watch out, they might be doing a little bit too much celebrating too early. There's 42 seconds on the clock, and a timeout has been called. We'll keep it right here. Guys,
well,
a statement?
Yeah, well,
considering the fact that Darren Alves really didn't run wild. 26 carries, 94 yards. He didn't eclipse 100 yards, at least not as of yet. But I think it's a statement from the standpoint almost every drive McKinney Boyd scored on were grind-them-out drives. 13, 14-play drives with a young team being able to grind it out like that against, actually what you would call an older team That's pretty impressive stuff.
Well, and I don't want to sound too negative here, folks, but let's remember McKinney's wasn't exactly a powerhouse coming off of last year's squad. So they went 2-1 in district. We don't know where they are in district play yet. I mean,
True.
I don't. Again, I really hope we're looking at 2 of the top 3 teams in district on the field tonight. The reality of the situation is that's probably not the case.
Well, again, we don't know.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
Now, if the McKinney line defense can take anything from this, again, rewind back to week 0, where they gave up 115 yards on 15 carries to the quarterback of Sulphur Springs. They did a really decent job of holding Alves in check, especially in comparison to what we saw him do last week.
And remember, he's also been able to spread the ball to other runners as well.
Yes.
McKinney really needed to capitalize on that block punt down here and put points on the board at that point. And didn't do it. McKinney Boyd turned him away, and basically from that point on, turned the McKinney Lions off.
Well, and it's, the thing is about goal line stands, they're obviously great in the fact you didn't give up a touchdown when in reality you're more often than not going to. But the momentum was lost right there for McKinney.
By the way, Alves has downed it for the second time. And that, folks, is the end of this football game as the clock winds under 8 seconds, and it's about to erupt on that far sideline as the McKinney Boyd Broncos have defeated the McKinney Lions.
And I don't see anybody rushing on the field.
Handshakes from across the field as the Boyd Broncos and the McKinney High Lions. Lots of gold helmets, lots of blue face masks parallel with the turf.
You almost wonder what happened. I mean, it was, you remember the Saxe game for McKinney where it was a tale of 2 different teams. It was almost like this. What happened to McKinney this half?
And in reality, I think a lot of it stems from right now the McKinney line offense really struggling to run the football.
Well, not only that, the McKinney Lion defense was on the field so much during this football game. They really got worn down. The Lions just got completely worn down on defense, and when everybody gets done with their school songs and everything, we'll try to have John Leidy down on the sidelines or in the middle of the field actually trying to get some players. And, of course, I think we said Cameron Mazer was one of our Torchmark Corporation star of the game.
Of course, that begs the question, which side do we want to put him on? Was he want to be our offensive guy or our defensive guy? Because he really made plays on both sides.
True. We also want to have Reese Redmond interviewed, as he also will be our Torchmark Corporation player of the game. Also, don't forget we'll have the Anchor Credit Loan Money Play of the game, and we'll try to sort that one out and figure out which highlight that'll be for tonight. As the McKinney Lions limp over to the near sideline, and Matt Lipka has his arms crossed, not looking up in the stands, has his head down, looking at his feet as the school song's being played. Not a lot of motioning back and forth.
No, I tell you, this is a tough pill to swallow for this McKinney squad.
Yeah, this is very tough.
But as much as this one was really a fun one though, in retrospect, and if you think about how much fun this will be next year.
I also think if John could talk to AJ, maybe pull over AJ Jones and Jeff Fuller, who used to play for the McKinney Lions. Maybe grab them and see if they could just have a quick word with us. 21-9, AJ Jones and Jeff Fuller. See if you can grab those guys and talk to us a little bit as well. But Reese Redmond and Cameron Mazer are our Torchmark Corporation's star of the game. And John Light is down on the sideline. No indication yet that he has anybody, but hopefully he'll be able to talk to. Well, now they're going to do their school song, so another 45 seconds or so as we stall. Jay, you were saying overall a great game.
Overall, a great game. I mean, really, this one was a big question mark until about midway in the fourth quarter. And like you said, it really stems from the McKinney Lions not being able to score off the block punt, not being able to take advantage of that. Not being able to take advantage of that was a big blow, I think, to the Lions' confidence on offense. I mean, you're sitting there, you're 3 yards out, and you can't bang it in the end zone. Man.
Well, let's remember, they tried 3 runs before they tried to pass on fourth down. You know what? Hey, run a simple end to Lipka. You know, I mean, it works. Run a button hook, run a fade, you know, something. You know, I mean, there's lots of options down right there.
Well, we got John Leidy down on the sidelines trying to find a couple of players. And John, he's trying to find Coach Drake. There he is. Go ahead, John.
I'm down here with the McKinney Boyd head coach, Don Drake. You mentioned the first district victory in school history. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, it's a milestone. It's kind of like that first win we ever had in the history of the program, and then to be able to come back a couple of weeks later and get our first district win, I think it says a lot for how our kids are working and how far we've come in just a short period of time.
Your offense and your defense both proved a lot tonight. The offense was able to keep it going there at the end, put the exclamation point to get the victory, and the defense had them a great night on the field. How'd that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought second half our defense played outstanding. I mean, we kept them out of the end zone in the second half. We were able to move the ball well offensively and put the game away in the fourth quarter, which is what we need to be able to do to go where we want to go.
You made a great speech there at the end of the game saying, leave no doubt, make no comparisons. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things with our kids. You know, all week everybody's been talking about comparisons between us and them, and I think there are a lot of comparisons. I challenged our kids to leave no doubt tonight in terms of who was going to be able to be the better football team tonight when we got finished.
Well, that was a great victory tonight. We say thank you, and good luck next week.
All right, John, thank you very much. And when you're ready, go ahead and pop on with, I think you had Cameron Mazer down there, I believe.
I mean, this is obviously a big win for those kids, so he's having to fish them out.
And I think he has Cameron Mazer. Go ahead,
yes,
John.
I'm down here with our Torchmark player of the game, number 26, Cameron Mazer. We don't know whether to give it to you for the offensive plays or the defensive plays. They're great on both sides, had some key catches there to continue the drives for the offense tonight, and made some key tackles with the interception. Explain to us about that game-saving interception there at the end.
It was man coverage, and I saw my guy go to the flat, so I just ran under him, intercepted, and ran for daylight till the quarterback caught me.
Now, typically, ball hasn't come your way, but tonight it came your way several times. You've become a go-to guy. You proved that tonight. Can you elaborate on your offensive performance tonight?
I did good. Everybody did good. Offensive line blocked good. We just played real good tonight. I give it all to the line and Darren Alves, and I give it to Nate, number 3.
Being a former lineman, I would like to thank you for thanking your offensive lineman. And also, he's a jack of all trades. He's on special teams. He almost never leaves the field. We're going to say good luck to you. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, John Leidy. And that is Cameron Mazer, our Torchmark player of the game, along with Reese Redmond, who cannot be found. Reese is probably celebrating down there with all of his buddies, and why not? Hey.
Well, where would you rather be, celebrating your buddies or talking to John?
I don't want to be talking to John Leidy after a victory like this. No, just kidding. We love you, John.
Yeah. Well, he's great. He's our punching bag, and he likes it. So at least we say he does.
What a tremendous win.
Oh, man.
And you know what? I don't care. It is a statement. It's a statement by McKinney Boyd that, hey, we're for real. We're not just a second-year program. We are for real, and you're going to have to take us. You're not going to take us lightly anymore. We're not just a notch on your win column. We are, we're to be taken seriously.
Yeah, well, from that simple standpoint of the fact that, last year they didn't win a single district game and they didn't lose a single district game by a close score. The fact is it's a statement. Yeah, you know what? We can win a district game. You're going to have to take us seriously. It's not necessarily we're going to be the playoff-bound team in our second year or anything like that. Hey. But I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just we don't know that from this game. But the thing we do know, they're not a pushover. Plain and simple, they're not a pushover.
Well, Boyd Bronco fans, if you're in your cars, don't forget about those half-price off milkshakes over at Chick-fil-A on 380 and 75. And I think Jay and I and Brandon will all probably be over there here in just a little bit. We'll have some highlights in just a moment. We'll have some stats. We'll recap this and from scores from around the area. How'd McKinney North do? Well, you'll find out here in just a few moments. Right here at Ron Post Stadium, McKinney Boyd knocks off McKinney High 34-13. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.